The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Feel the Beat Wednesday, August 24th, 2022, and this sports show shall begin right now. Football is all the way back.
Oh, yeah.
We are in the middle of storylines, in drama, and the NFL season is just a few days away. Well, just a couple weeks away from being right in front of us on an everyday basis. The offseason was long. The offseason was strong. There was litigation. There was bullshit. Then preseason started. And preseason seemed like it was a bunch of excitement. Then we realized, hey, these are USFL guys playing against each other. But now we're going into the final week of preseason games, and most of the starters are playing around the NFL. We should be able to get a taste of what teams will look like. We should be able to get a taste of what NFL football should look like. We should be able to get a taste of what this season should bring, just like we do with Hard Knocks every single Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on HBO. Last night's episode did not disappoint.
Nope.
Not that the episode 2 stunk. Not saying episode 2 stunk.
Of course not.
Because I would watch Hard Knocks if it did stink because of the amount of access and the way they go about painting the story. They're the Scorseses of football, the Scorseses of sports, NFL films. So I always enjoy Hard Knocks. Episode 2, next to no MCDC.
Right.
Next to no Deuce Staley. Last night, we're all the way back into the MCDC crowd. We're all the way back into the Deuce Staley moments, even when he lost his voice. Loved watching their team bounce back from different moments. I thought Josh Adams, the comedian, fucking crushed it. Going into a very tough room. And absolutely killed it. I thought last night's episode of Hard Knocks was fantastic. Let's see how the Toxic Table felt. At Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Ty, we'll start with you because you do have like, a degree in film or something like that. Last night's episode was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Like we said, not enough MCDC last week. I mean, we still got, a couple nice sound bites from him, but it's almost like they kind of, I don't want to say heeded our advice because everyone has been saying that. It's like, hey, this guy's unbelievable. We need to see more of him. And it didn't feel like they shoehorned it in. Like, it actually had, like, a kind of a good storyline. I wish we would have seen more from the day of practice we were at because the defense got crushed while we were there. And then the next day, the clip they showed on the show was the defense, down at goal line, like, stuff.
Having a day.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would have been, like, a nice little, but, again, cutting room floor. But, again, MCDC was just...
And Deuce.
Deuce
Staley is awesome.
Him losing his voice for the whole, that whole practice. That was awesome.
Don't do that, bunch of bitches, man. Like to a group of men, and they're taking him serious because they have to. Because not only is he assistant head coach, motherfucker was great on the football field, and he's a good coach. I think he's a great coach who commands respect. So when you lose your voice and you sound like a child on a balloon, like a helium balloon, it's got to be tough. But I enjoyed last night's episode of Boston Con. Are you a Lions fan now?
I'm definitely not a Lions fan in general. I mean, hey, on Sunday I wasn't there playing the Colts, or Saturday, whenever the hell they beat the Colts, which was awesome to see.
Is that because you had that apple stem in your cup holder?
Well, I think that kind of plays a part in it. I think me just hating the Colts in general plays a part in it. More so now the fact that they're leaving
Colts, huh?
rotten.
What's that about?
For now. But when they're leaving, rotten apples inside the place where you're supposed to be sitting, that's not a great sign. But no, it was cool to see the Lions. I'm glad that they're treating every win, even the preseason ones, like the Super Bowl, because I feel like you have to prepare for that type of mentality.
They've lost the last 8.
Yeah, they have. And, if we know anything about the Lions in the preseason, it really doesn't transfer over because last time they went 0-16, they went 4-0 in the preseason. So I don't know if they're trying to go, 0-3 in this preseason, 0-4, whatever.
Yeah, so the win might have been a bummer, actually. They were celebrating it because it was a positive because you're turning the corner, getting the stink out, maybe get see all his dust, man. See all his dirt, man, all his grind, man. I think he could have elaborated a little bit more, and maybe he did, and they cut it out. he should have been saying that the dust and dirt in the pants is just like false start penalties, missed assignments, for not knowing where to go, bad throws, not having ball security or anything like that. I don't know if he did dive into that in the actual speech and he cut it out, or he just got so excited and just got past it and said, need to get to the dust, man. And he did it, but had everybody's attention in there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when all the cocaine smoke went up into the sky, and obviously it's dust, not cocaine, and he ends up on his face, and then it starts drifting, the cloud starts drifting towards the team. Like, he's lucky I'm not in there. Because, like, if I was there, whoa. They could make a fool thing. He has that team's, though.
Oh, yeah.
He has that team's attention, I think we all see. Yes. In Aiden Hutchinson, what a home run.
Certified dog.
It does feel like.
It makes me so happy. I was nervous about it because Lions always fuck this stuff up. Aiden is a dog.
Yeah, it feels like he is. Feels like he's going to be a guy that's going to work. He's not going to get too comfortable or complacent. Understands that there's a bigger legacy on the line. Even if our team doesn't win as many games as we had hoped this upcoming season, he's going to keep getting better. I fucking loved Aiden Hutchinson. I liked MCDC. I don't know, or I liked all of Hard Knocks. I don't know if it's going to translate to being winner of the NFC North.
Sure. No.
But I am enjoying the hell out of becoming a Lions fan slowly every single Tuesday.
My favorite thing with Aiden Hutchinson is
At Tone Diggs, one half of the hammer.
Dahn!
Cowboys.
His coaches coming up to him and them telling him how relieved they are that he's an actual guy. Like
all former players, by the way.
Yeah, he's like...
All these coaches are former players coming up to him and being like... Because they know. They've seen it. We've all seen a lot of young guys coming. That's why I think you ask any ex-player how they would make their team. Oh, I'm paying money to all the vets that prove that they can make it in the men's league. And then I'm just, if we draft a couple rookies that are good, we're good. So Aaron Glenn going up to him and everybody else, basically, they've seen it. They've been around. Hey, we are so fucking lucky that you are the guy. Shows up, seems to have great attention to detail, laughs at himself, doesn't take himself too serious because Josh Adams said, is that Backstreet Boy man? Hilarious. That guy really crushed it, by the way.
He did.
He should be very proud of himself.
Yeah,
Not that he doesn't normally. An NFL locker room is not an easy one to go into, especially if you're from out and not in. He crushed it in there. But Aiden showcased who type of person he is in there as well, I think, as he's being mocked in front of the whole crowd. Laugh and work hard. I love that they all recognize that. And now, what does that mean for after he has one good year? Will he ever, rest on his yawnies? We don't think so.
No.
But what a fucking home run for the Lions. Let's hope his career doesn't get wasted.
Yeah, last night was great because you had that checked off the list. You had Rodrigo fucking cracking skulls checked off the list, and you had a lot of MCDC and Deuce. It was a great fucking episode.
I saw some people saying, this year I don't feel as connected to... All positive, by the way. I checked the internet. I checked Hard Knocks, and I checked Dan Campbell. He was trending, and I checked some other things. Normally, you'd see mixed reviews on everything, especially with a personality like Dan Campbell. I assume he has experienced a lot of people who just hate him immediately because of his presentation and how he speaks and everything.
Right.
I was checking Twitter live. Not that that is the indicator of everything, because there's probably 2 to 3 million people watching, and if you have 5,000 people tweeting about something on a timeline, that can feel like a lot. But in the grand scheme of people that are actually watching, that ain't fucking shit. But it's a good sample size. It's a good focus group that you can kind of go. I don't think you should change your vision because of what people tweet, but if something's overwhelmingly being talked about, it should certainly go into how you address the next episode. For instance, there's some companies, and we've seen them, who have completely changed the way they go about doing business because of a small sector of people on Twitter that have bullied them into thinking what they're doing is wrong. Can't do that. Have to have enough willpower, have to have enough mental strength to battle through a small group of people, because even if a couple hundred people are tweeting you something, that's a lot of scrolls, and it can get a little bit immense almost. But when in the grand scheme of things, multiple millions of people and a couple hundred people are saying it, like you have to take it into account, but you can't change your entire fucking business strategy because of it. Hard Knocks, I think they, not only from us, but others heard that, hey, loud and clear, we don't know how long this guy's going to be a fucking head coach.
Right. No clue.
We are never going to have this type of access to this dude ever again. If he goes on to be a super successful coach, by the way, they will look back on this footage about what he was whenever he first started. I mean, there is one of one happening at the head coaching position in Detroit Lions. That's fucking Dan Campbell. Let's go ahead. I searched it last night. All positive on Dan Campbell. Fucking love this guy. Hard Knocks. All positive on it. I'm like, okay, that never happens. They got to be pumped that NFL films about last
I was
night.
to say, for your Twitter thing, I think Twitter's inherently negative a lot of the time. So if everyone's on the same side in this focus group in a positive fashion, you should definitely look at it.
You should think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier. Just think about humans and how they act. And I'm always I think if you listen to this show, I'm a big intrigued why humans do what humans do thing.
Absolutely.
I think more so than most shows, I'm a big like, well, we can assume that this type of human who has these types of traits is probably going to do this. If this, then this. To tweet something, normally about something they're watching, it's either going to be love. Much easier, though, to not like something and say, I need to get this out here and boom. If you just like something, people aren't going to say shit. Like the overwhelming group of people that like something, and I deal with this, I think, with SmackDown every single Friday night.
Yeah.
If somebody likes something, they're probably not going to feel urged to go to their phone. If they love something, they're going to say it. And if they don't like something or hate something, they're going to say it. So that's 2 for the negative in don't like and hate, and only 1 for the positive in love as opposed to like being represented on Twitter. So you have to take that into account. But goddamn, it was an overwhelmingly positive social media experience for Hard Knocks last night.
And this is why I keep saying wins or losses, I don't care. Keep Dan Campbell forever because the Lions have sucked forever. So we finally have a guy that everyone likes and everyone roots for. So I don't care.
Foxy, they got Hard Knocks in 3 years from now, and they haven't won a fucking game yet.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell's not going to be as positively.
No.
Yeah,
Won't be.
right.
It won't be
Love
as
him.
positive on the Twitter.
Still love him, though.
Yeah, I mean, you'll still love him for what he did here, but if they don't win some games for the next 4 years, like it's not going to be the same reaction if Hard Knocks comes back to town. Which, by the way, you guys would be up for every single year, basically, because you don't make the playoffs. If that was, I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Right.
I'm just saying that is potential in the future.
And we were talking about that. That's what makes this season awesome. We win 5 games. Everyone's pumped still. 5,
you tell me.
5 or 6. I think everyone's still pumped, and then we go into next year thinking.
And then the third year's like, hey, okay,
Yeah.
got to get
Let's
to
go.
8,
Put it
9
together
games.
now.
Hopefully.
All right, he's had enough time to build the culture. He's had enough time to bring his guys in. I think the way he speaks resonates with players, though.
For sure.
All of them, right?
You would know.
Well, you just watch.
Yeah.
Like, just watch the room. That's one of the best parts about Hard Knocks is when you do the behind shot.
Yeah.
And it shows the entire room. And everybody probably keys in on the first couple rows because of whoever. They try to find a star. I'm looking directly to where's the D-line at? I'm going to go look at, they're in the back. They're normally back right is where the D-line is. Or back left, maybe. Depends on the team. I'm going right to there to see how many people are leaning back going this. Any of these going out here, like the fuck this guy type stuff.
Right.
And it feels like the Lions are all in, even with the ridiculous, absurd shit that MCDC has been. He had them do 40 up downs before practice.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to lose an entire fucking roster. But instead, his big ass is doing them with
Right.
them. And I don't want to do it. We got to do it, man. I don't want to do it. We have to, man. Last night, 10 mans in the first speech he gave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was glorious.
My wife started counting. She was like, we should do, because everybody's like drink every time he says man. And it was a little late night at obviously 10 p.m. Eastern. And she wasn't talking while he was talking. I was laughing. I was like, yeah, that's an interesting way to go. And she looks at me. She goes, 10 mans in that, just 10 mans
That's it.
in that first speech or whatever. I'm like, thought it'd be more.
Yeah.
But it is his go-to. That is his, even in the middle of the game, he was talking to a group. Come on, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's fucking awesome. We need him in our group. Need one of him in every group, friend group. I think
Absolutely.
people would love that.
And we knew MCDC would be great on the show. I didn't know how much I'd love Deuce Staley, though. Deuce Staley's fucking awesome. Also, the linebackers
Super
coach
champion,
that told him put
Calvin
that
Shepherd?
Rydell right into his chin. I love that.
Yeah, I can't believe they put that up there.
That was wild.
Yeah.
AJ, by the way, when AJ comes on in 45 minutes, let's assume he's going to be like, you saw
see
you
that?
heard Shep.
First thing.
Yeah.
Shep said, that's NFL linebacker coach. That's on me.
Yeah.
He's just a good player. Shep's a good player, which he was. I was teammates with him. Loved in the locker room, Calvin Shepherd. Liked the way he coaches, too. Seems like all these players that are coaches have they did showcase Brunel talking to Blau.
Yes.
And he kind of buried the receiver, but he was trying to hype up his guy.
Yeah.
And I didn't love that they put that out there because I don't think Brunel.
Pimp.
Yeah, exactly. Guy's got to make a play for you. Like, that's very real, but that's Brunel trying to hype up the
Right.
quarterback as opposed to saying anything about Pimp, and they kept it in there. So that was one line that I remember thinking back, like, Brunel probably wishes they didn't have that because Brunel probably likes Pimp,
Right.
probably likes him. He was just saying that to his player to be like, hey, good ball. That guy's got to fucking make a play for you. But now it's nationally projected. So it's like, is Mark Brunel burying this guy? It's like, no, he was trying to hype up his guy. So there's a little bit of that, a little bit of that going on.
Yeah, and to your point about like watching the players, like it was awesome when Deuce Staley was doing his little speech to the running backs after practice, having his voice all messed
Mickey
up.
Mouse.
Yeah, because they really were just shooting Swift, Williams, a lot of those guys who were going to be on the team, and you could tell they were all like, oh yeah, definitely have to heed what Deuce is saying right now.
Jamal is still babyface?
I don't know.
After
Not
that?
after last night.
That was a little much.
Yeah.
He gave a 45-minute speech after practice day 3, training camp. Looked at the camera. Listen, everybody at Green Bay that I know likes this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've tried not to bury him. Because I'm sure he's a great guy. He's worked really hard. Plays for the fucking Lions.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
there's no reason to do that. The 2-minute speech after day 3, looking at the camera while he's doing it, we should have cooked him then. Okay? I should have cooked him. I should have been a little bit more, real about what we really thought of that. Chuck tried to bring it in. Chuck was like, guys.
Yeah.
Dave, let's
Long
save that.
season.
Let's save
Long
that.
season.
Let's save that
Later
for
on.
halftime whenever we actually need it or something like that. But I understand he was just trying to bring the juice,
For sure.
After last night's episode, Zaire fucking bullied him.
Yeah, he did.
Okay? And then he's talking to Shaq Leonard, who's defensive MVP. You won't put your pads on. All right, he had a nerve surgery. By the way, he still beat your fucking ass, Jamal. Hate to break it to you.
Oh, yeah.
If he was to go out there in the clothes that he was wearing with no cleats, fresh off of this back nerve surgery that he had to help out his ankle, he would still lock your fucking ass down, Jamal. I just think I enjoy his energy. He turned heel on me last night. I don't know if everybody else felt that way or just me because I have a certain feeling about the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, he lost those reps, right? Like a lot of those reps,
Yes.
he didn't win those reps.
Well, he also
to me,
gave
I was
like
why is he talking so
4 or
much? I
5
love
kids
that.
concussions in the stands when he was whipping
Oh,
his ball.
Deuce is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Deuce, I tell that motherfucker he's going to hurt a kid.
Yeah.
He's going to have a check
Keep his
in
game
back
check
pocket.
in his back pocket.
He's about to get signed. Deuce Staley has become babyface.
Yes.
I think with everybody. MCDC, obviously babyface. Aiden Hutchinson, babyface. Rodrigo, babyface.
Right?
Shepard even.
Kelvin Shepard,
Yeah.
babyface in there. But honestly, I think Jamal had a heel turn last night. And I didn't know if it was just me going like, fuck this guy. Shut up. Dude.
Yeah.
What are you even?
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
it was because, again, you could argue one way, like the average football fan who's watching that maybe isn't thinking right away, like, oh, he lost those reps. But what you're watching doesn't equate to like how he's celebrating, how he's jawing afterwards. It's like, dude, if you're doing all that shit, you expect him to be mossing dudes or, shaking them or whatever. It's like, that's not the case. You just look like a moron.
Well, and he
kinda.
was in a full costume the day after episode 1 on
Yeah.
NFL Films.
So it's
So we hate that guy.
a string of things.
Yeah, I like.
Well, we
I'm
love
sure people like him. I've never met him. I'm sure he's good. I am just going strictly off the movie character he has been in my life from watching him. He looked like a fucking ass last night on Hard Knocks. Is that the only thing we can talk about?
Yeah, I didn't-
Negative wise?
Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
and Brunel saying he's got to make a play for you,
Brunel.
which Brunel, once again, was not planning on Pimp or his
guy.
family hearing that, or a guy is working his ass off. He's just trying to lift his player. Aside from that, I think a home run episode.
Yeah, I just didn't like that he it's fine to chirp after the drill. Like don't I hate when you take your helmet off to do it. If that makes sense to anybody.
Yeah, you keep your helmet on.
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking there's going to be a fight if you take your helmet off. You are just doing the strictly to.
A little spotlight on yourself.
No, not only that, but this is just bullshit.
Yeah.
Like if you take your helmet off, you know that there's going to be no interaction. There's going to be no physical altercation. So you're just. And Zaire looked awesome. Him punting that football, by the way.
Yeah.
Picking it up. His immediate reaction. Fuck you, right in his face. The Colts baby faces last night, I think.
Yeah.
Jamal, the only bad guy. I think the only guy that really lost in the entire episode. But he'll come back next week.
Yeah,
He'll-
exactly.
He'll come back. He had a sick do-rag on.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
He
enjoyed
did.
the do-rag. It's old school. I think people enjoyed that. Everybody's just assuming he's made the team. Is that right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
backup
Yeah,
running
yeah.
back, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See,
They paid him.
it would be awesome. Like, I do understand the Jamal stuff and, even the easy stuff, the lineman who's been in America for 7 years. But, like, can we learn about Penei Sewell? Can we learn about Ragnow, Decker, like the guys on the team on the offensive
Yeah,
line?
but let's not take too much time away from MCDC.
Agree.
Okay, there's a way to balance it in.
Yes.
I thought NFL Films did a great job. Good work to the whole crew.
Yeah.
All right, you know what time it is. It's time for us to dive a little bit deeper into the stories. It's time to go into the weeds of these teams. It is time to feel the beat. We're all kind of feeling our own beats
Oh, yeah.
at this point. Do any of us know what that actual...
Nope.
No.
Couldn't tell you.
For the last 2 weeks, we have covered up as soon as that... Can we run that one more time without, just so we can hear what the potential beat... Okay, so we found the beat
We
there.
got it.
Now we shall feel the beat, where we go to beat writers from around the NFL and ask them what's really going on with their teams because they have boots on the ground. Joining us first, beat writer for the Kansas City Chiefs, lead writer for Arrowhead Pride. He's also Chiefs analyst for KSH B41.
Hell yeah.
What is
news channel in Kansas City.
They're on your side. It's the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Sweeney.
Yeah, Pete!
Pete, what up, baby?
How's it going? Hello from Kansas City.
Hey, we appreciate you joining us. Did I say that right? KSHB41?
That's right. That's right. And 610 Sports Radio as well. I'm doing it all. Trying to do my best here.
Hey, we appreciate you joining us. I know you're a busy man.
Yeah.
Not a lot of chatter about the Kansas City Chiefs this year from the national standpoint. Kind of alarming because you guys still have Patrick Mahomes, still have Andy Reid, still have Travis Kelce. No Tyreek Hill. In comes Juju Smith-Schuster. How's the offense looking, and what is the word around town about how they're going to replace somebody like the Cheetah, Pete Sweeney?
Well, you know what? It's crazy. I think it's weird that Kansas City has really found itself under the radar when they have Patrick Mahomes. And before Juju Smith-Schuster injured his knee a couple weeks ago, he's sort of been mysteriously out of practice and didn't play in the last preseason game. But they were purring. I mean, the offense looked pretty good, and I think the pressure is off Patrick a little bit to get the ball to Tyreek Hill, and I think you're going to see him spreading it around a lot. Last preseason game, he hit 8 different receivers. They got a new 7th-round running back in town. The tight ends look really strong behind Travis Kelce, and they don't get a lot of love, Jody Fortson and Noah Gray. So I think the pressure is off Pat, and he's still the best quarterback through 5 years ever, and somehow I think the Chiefs are under the radar behind the Bills and the Bengals, and they probably shouldn't be. And that's kind of where I see them right now.
I respect you saying that. Now we'll get Sal Capaccio on in the future and see what he thinks about what you just said about the Bills and the Bengals. You know, obviously 2 young teams, obviously teams that have had a lot of success, but nobody's really had the success that the Kansas City Chiefs had over the last couple of years. Kind of a turnover era, though, right? Tyrann Mathieu out as well. What's the defensive side of the ball looking like, Pete?
You know what? They have Justin Reed, who came in town from the Houston Texans, similar to what Tyrann did, and he's really took the leadership role. Juan Thornhill is another player that really isn't as nationally known. He has looked really good. And they drafted 5 defensive backs, and the defensive backs coach during training camp had this gem. He's like, I'm calling these guys the Fab Five. And there are these 5 defensive backs the Chiefs drafted. They like them so much, they got rid of DeAndre Baker and Lonnie Johnson. And everyone knows about Trent McDuffie, who's the first rounder. But the hidden gem right now in Kansas City is this 4th rounder from an HBCU named Joshua Williams. And he's a little bit taller. McDuffie's a little bit undersized. And you could make a case right now, and this is sort of, I guess, boots on the ground type of thing, that Williams may have looked better even, I think, than McDuffie during training camp, and it's just something to watch. Hey. Because Rashad Fenton has another groin injury right now, and so Steve Spagnuolo doesn't like to play young players, and he's going to have to with this team.
Okay, I want to, before the boys have a couple questions for you, Pete, I want to bounce back to the offensive side. Juju's all the way back? Because I saw a tweet, yesterday, Juju's back and they like him. Is that what's taking place, or is that wrong?
So he's got a sore knee, and we don't anticipate him to play in the next preseason game either. And so what happens after this preseason game Thursday night, Chiefs-Packers at Arrowhead, is there's a huge dark period. So I think the hope in the building and outside the building, especially in Kansas City, because this is now your number 1 receiver behind Kelce, is that he's okay by then, but we really won't get an update till like that Wednesday before what would be the week 1 game. And so it's a wait and see type thing. We'll see if Juju is practicing next week. There is slight optimism, but it's his knee, and he's had knee problems before. So we're a little bit worried, I think, here in Kansas City about his status. And then MVS mysteriously missed practice yesterday as well. So right now the top it stands are Sky Moore, a rookie, and Justin Watson, a cast-off from Tampa Bay. But 3 weeks before the first game against the Cardinals.
Sal Capaccio and beat writer for the Bengals would say, we got Stephon fucking Diggs over here, and Cincinnati would say, we got Jamar Chase. So that might be why it's flying under the radar, I guess. But anytime you got Patrick Mahomes, you're just going to assume the team's going to go, including Travis Kelce, who, although tight end, the leader of touchdowns, receptions, and yards, I think, over the last 10 years or something like that. Go ahead, Tone Diggs, your question for Pete Sweeney.
Pete, building off of that, so say everyone's healthy. MVS, McCole Hardman, Juju, Sky Moore. Who do you think is going to be the number 1 wide receiver?
This is for prop bets and fantasy football, Pete, so let's fucking get this right.
Yeah, come on, Pete.
Let's get this right,
Pete.
Well,
if you're going in fantasy football terms, as far as the first couple rounds go, you can't go wrong with Travis Kelce. He's eat, sleep, 1,000 yards, right? Like, it's going to be Kelce.
We know,
probably
Pete.
Come on,
wide receiver, Pete.
Next is Juju. I would say Juju. Okay. Now, you got to watch the injury thing. That if you're drafting soon, I'm not really sure about this knee. No one really knows. I did hear him. He was walking down to training camp, and he was talking with the fan. The fan's like, how's the knee? And he goes, it's getting better. And so obviously there's something wrong there, but we just have not seen him. But I assume that Juju will be healthy by week 1. We have a lot of days until the regular season. So if you're looking at like a yardage split, I think it's going to go Kelce. I think it's going to go Juju. MBS will be next. McCole Hardman and Sky Moore are doing a lot of things out of the backfield, so they might not be there necessarily as receiving yards go, but yards from scrimmage, they're probably next. Wow. And then if any of those guys get nicked up, Mahomes really likes this Watson guy. So if you enter a week and you're in a pinch, this is probably like week 4, week 5, and say MVS isn't playing, I think Watson is going to have some sneaky games in there. So just keep him in mind if you need like a streamer one week.
Are you a fantasy guy, huh? You are.
Yeah. No, I do fantasy football stuff as well. And I know people really care about the Chiefs that are not in Kansas City, especially when it comes to these skill guys. So that's why I try to keep everyone updated.
Pete, great breakdown right there. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Pete, I'm not in Kansas City, and I still don't give a damn about the Chiefs. But when it comes to their running back,
don't worry about this asshole.
This guy.
Okay. What is it? Chiefs Colts week 3, right?
No, he's a Patriots.
Yeah, let's go Colts.
Okay.
Pete, when you just mentioned the running back though, the 7th rounder, is this Clyde Edwards-Helaire kind of like last year to be the guy, or is it just going to be more of a stable going forward for Kansas City?
Well, Clyde will leave the preseason as the guy week 1, but I wonder, you're asking, is he going to be the guy for the next year? Is he going to be the guy for the next couple weeks? I mean, I think Isaiah Pacheco has the potential to take that spot midway through the season if Clyde is not getting it done again. They are very
Does
high
Clyde stink?
On Pacheco
Clyde
in the
stinks,
building.
Pete?
When it comes to short yardage, he's left some room for improvement, and he's been a little injury prone these last couple of years. And there is some comps, and I've talked to people with the team for Pacheco to be like a Kareem Hunt, like they had a few years ago. Now we'll see if he has that contact balance. It remains to be seen. He had a vision issue. A play was going around Kansas City, but I mean, it's a young player getting used to the NFL. The Chiefs are telling him to be patient. But, man, I think he could be the starting running back before the end of the year.
Hey, that was a classic, like, sky cam shot. He chose to do this when this was open thing?
Right. The sky cam, and he should have waited for the secondary block by the offensive lineman and didn't see it. But, I mean, he was playing with Rutgers' offensive line last year. I mean, this is the NFL, so now you can think Le'Veon Bell, you can be a little bit more patient. And so the Chiefs are telling him, okay, you have the skills. We believe in you, but you got to be more patient back. This is the NFL now.
Sorry, Basciano. All right, how many games do you think Chiefs win this year, right? They don't win 11. Everybody's going to say they suck.
Yeah, no, I think it's 11-6. This is my way too early prediction. I think the Chiefs win their division because they're beating up on each other, and they're probably the number 3 seed in the AFC. I think 11-6, 12-5 feels right. I'm still not used to these like 17 game records, but I think that feels right just considering the division is by far the best in football.
You know what feels right? Feel the beat. We can't thank you enough, Pete, for joining us. You were awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Sweeney. It is time to, I love this segment.
It's awesome.
Hey, Pete was awesome.
Yeah.
How about Juju, number 2, MVS, number 3, McCole Hardman coming out of the backfield?
Yeah, what's that?
I thought McCole was the guy. As soon as Tyreek goes out, let's plug McCole in because he did that with the return game. I just assumed that was going to be the case. Andy Reid said, not so fast. We're not running the same shit. We don't have a cheat on.
And nationally, all you hear about is the second-round picks or first Sky Moore, who's the rookie or whatever.
Fourth-round guy.
Yeah, the corner.
Yeah, guy.
From the HBCU.
I almost said, Pete, what does HBCU stand for? That would have been a little fucked up. You know what I mean? That would have been hysterical if he said, he's a guy from the HBCU college. I almost said, Pete.
HBCU.
Go ahead, Pete.
Riddle me this.
Yeah.
What does HBCU stand for? I'm assuming you would have got it right. Pete was very, very good.
Dialed it.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I can't thank him enough. It's time to continue to feel the beat. This is an unprecedented segment.
What?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, where we talk to beat writers.
First time ever?
For unprecedented.
Goddamn
People are
right.
throwing that word around nowadays, and it doesn't mean anything, I guess. Whenever you throw words like unprecedented around when something has been precedented, you fucking ruin what unprecedented means.
Yeah.
Like everything's greatest of all time. This is unprecedented. This is unprecedented.
Yes, it is.
And when it was precedented the first time. This man was our first guest, I do believe.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, from New England, NBC Sports Boston, the Patriots and Raiders are currently doing joint practices.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, friend of the program, beat writer and follower reporter for the Patriots, Tom E. Curran. Hey, baby, Tommy.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, you're in Vegas covering a joint practice, yeah?
Well,
Yeah,
you are.
You're there, yeah,
You hear
yeah.
the slot machines.
Yeah, sounds,
Ching,
yes.
ching, ching, ching.
not exactly. Okay, I can't. I'm a reporter. I only have our guy Phil Perry's out there on the ground, but he is feeding me all intel. They need me in the studio, Patrick.
Did they not? Do you think maybe this was like hey, Phil's a little younger, a little better?
Yeah, I can't send Tom
Is
to
this like a
Vegas.
force out? Is this like, yeah, we can't trust
No,
Tom?
Yeah, he might go a little
I'm
wild.
the guy who ends up in a bathtub full of ice without his kidney.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm happy that's not you. Let's dive into it. There's more information coming out of the Patriots camp. Obviously, Bill Belichick is choosing to speak to the media how he always has chosen to speak to the media, but we've gotten some information. I believe it was the Greg Hill show in which he said, like, hey, I'm in charge of everything. It's kind of, I obviously am on top of everything. Is that kind of the way you understand after watching practices through training camp? Is Bill calling the offense right now, and how excited are you for that?
He's not.
Fuck.
Matt Patricia is. He's kind of he's the overlord of the offense, and the gist of what he's saying with, hey, it's basically the buck stops with me. So if you guys want to start carving up anybody, whether it be Matt Patricia or Joe Judge, Matt Patricia is basically the play caller right now. We'll see if he's the offensive coordinator per se, but he is the one who's play calling, and this is an important game coming up Friday against the Raiders, but Bill's saying, look, don't blame them. This is my idea. This is my idea to put in an entirely new offense with two guys who haven't coached offense in a long time, neither of whom have ever been offensive play callers. But don't blame them for it. It's on me. So, I mean, it's fast. There is never anything that's not fascinating about this team, Patrick.
Yeah, I concur. And look, going into the season, it was a big storyline. As the season has started here, it has continued to be a storyline. And what Bill Belichick was saying, hey, don't blame Jason Witten because he couldn't get words out of his mouth over a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Blame the person that hired Jason Witten to be the Monday Night Football commentator and almost ruined his entire legacy.
Right.
You guys want to attack Matt Patricia and Joe Judge? No offense, I love Jason Witten, but that fucking guy should not have been put on Monday
I
Night
have
Football.
never heard one person utter so many words and say absolutely nothing. God bless a great tight end.
He's unbelievable in football. People forgot how good at football he was. He had to come back and play at the age of like 50.
Yeah.
So people would be like,
great.
hey, remember, I'm still a fucking guy. Like, but the person that put him in the booth, like, that's the person that should have been like, hey, that's on me. Never happened, by the way. That person has pitched other ideas to people, and those people have remembered that wait
a minute.
Okay, it's
You're
going to be
the
tough to take you serious, so you need to remember that when you are talking to me. But this is a quote from Mac Jones about Matt Patricia. It feels like things are going well. Mike Giardi, when asked about Matt Patricia as a play caller, Mac Jones said of Patricia, he's one of the most brilliant people I've ever been around in terms of football knowledge. Hopefully you can grow for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
First couple weeks, the offense sucked. The offensive line wasn't blocking anybody. Things looked out of sorts. How has it looked since then? And are they growing? Are they getting better? It seems like Mac's very comfortable and very confident in what they're doing.
I think he wants to wants to just chart a course and stay with it. He doesn't want this ambiguousness that's been going on. No, it was horrible yesterday in Las Vegas from all reports. Our guy Phil Perry on the ground there and the other reporters who were there said it was their worst practice of the summer offensively. And that has been, there have been some bad ones. I mean, we've seen practices where they just really could not get any traction. It took till the very end of practice when they looked good in their 2-minute drill for anything good to come out of it. So it's not going well, but I think that Matt Jones is, here's the interesting thing. You've obviously played. The buy-in component that the team covets is coming from Mac Jones. He's all in. He's trying to stiff upper lip it and go right through it.
Hell yeah.
But it's getting ugly for some of the results, which is going to cause some grumbling, I think, among other players who are like, why are we doing this again? we were pretty good with the McDaniels thing.
Well, McDaniels got paid a lot of money and is now the head coach of his own place. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of players grumbling around New England. You know, Belichick's resume warrants, hey, we're going to listen to what this guy does. If he was a Joe Judge or a Matt Patricia who was trying to do something as a head coach and it didn't work out, players immediately go, oh, this fucking guy just showed up on an ATV with a fucking broken ankle because he's all boozed up, is trying to get the fuck out of here. But now, I think with Bill, you might know more than me. Is there ever grumblings from the team whenever Bill Belichick's leading the team? There is, publicly or no?
Not publicly, no. But I do think that, look, there has been an outflow of coaches. There's been an outflow of personnel people. There's been an outflow of players, whether it be Gronkowski or Brady or Amendola or Chris Long or the number of players that we've heard express, yeah, you know what? It's really hard there. It's not ideal. I mean, the Gronkowski and Amendola comments about being liberated from New England, you know, Brady's comments about it, I think you don't see it in real time, grumbling, right? But you hear it afterwards. And, you know, Brady's was more linked to personnel and the guys around him that he felt tethered to, and that, hey, I'm giving you a huge amount of a discount on my salary, and where are we spending the money? We don't have anybody to throw to. That was his agitation.
So you're saying
these guys know the scheme change, Pat.
Yeah, you're saying
they understand that the guys who are putting it in aren't the same people who you would look to be offensive geniuses. They can't miss it.
Tom, you're saying that if there is grumblings, we'll never hear it, but it's certainly happening, and history tells us that there has been grumblings that have happened within the building. We just never known about it. A la.
100%.
Yeah, okay, got it. Connor has a question for you, Tom.
Yeah, Tommy, with the new offense and the no fullback, is it likely that Damian Harris might get moved, especially with Ramondre Stevenson kind of looking like more of a guy this camp?
I think Belichick loves the 150 carries for each back type thing. I don't think Damian Harris will get moved. It is the last year of his deal. You're right. He was a 15-touchdown guy last year, and he'd have some relevance elsewhere. But the interesting thing, Connor, is when you have a team right now that's taking on water in its training camp and its joint practices, if you start lopping guys off, whether it be, you know, Nelson Aguilar dealing him because of his salary at this point, or Isaiah Wynn with his $10 million, or Damian Harris, that is setting a precedent for guys to go, what are we doing? I mean, they traded Shaq Mason. They didn't re-sign Ted Karras. These are not, you know, the best players in the league, but they can't be doing that right now.
Guy.
Hey, Tom, does this team stink?
Yeah, doom and gloom.
Is this team going to stink this year?
But Connor, you always, I mean, every time I come on, what do you think? It's going to be different every time I come on. They're like, hey, he's kind of down on this team.
No, I mean, yesterday we actually did talk about how the Raiders practice. We knew that was very bad, but like last year.
You knew it was ass?
Yeah, we knew it was ass. We talked about it.
I mean, Josh knows everything they're going to do. What do you want?
True.
Yeah, there's that, and, you know, completely new offense. There's going to be growing pains. But we started 2-4 last year. Like, I don't think there's any doom and gloom until you get to, you know, week 8, week 9, and they haven't turned it around.
Hey, the cavalry ain't coming around the mountain.
No, that was a long time
That's
ago.
what you said a couple years ago. It feels like you feel the same way about this year. Is that right?
This year is a rebuild.
Oh, shit.
Said that last year.
Oh, no,
A
Tom.
flat-out rebuild.
Oh.
They're tight to the cap. They're putting in a new offense. The guys they have putting in the offense are getting assimilated to how to run an offense. You got Joe Judge apprenticing as an offensive coordinator. It's next year. They got a crap ton of cap space, and they're going to go bananas buying guys.
All right, Tom, last thing before we get out of here with this. They might win, what, 7 games, Tom? 8 games?
They're lucky.
We got an 8-9-10 situation right now. I think
8, 9, 10. That gets it done.
Connor, you know that.
No, Connor, no.
Actually,
Is my picture really fuzzy? It looks like
No, on your end it might be fuzzy. On ours, you look great. And before we get you out of here and get you back to your coverage of what happened here, a video was just sent in. Quick Slants, this is your show up there in NBC Sports.
Oh, yeah. This is my highly entertaining show. See, and I just wanted them to throw me a football on the way out.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Throw it. Throw it. How's it going?
That was way too late.
How you doing? Okay, just a horrible throw. Oh, I was doing something.
I mean, they only get worse.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you been? Low ball. That was a low ball.
Good hands.
Wow. Great hands.
We wanted
Hey,
higher.
it's time for
Now
quick
watch this.
slants.
We were told not to throw footballs, and they almost threw it. Oh, my God, the
It's not funny. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Watch this, though. You're going to love.
Get this guy.
We had a good time. We had
Tom
laughs.
being mic'd up going, third of all, Hey, you're the best. We appreciate you so much. Every time you come on, you make our world better and Connor's worse. So that's a win. We appreciate you.
All right, Patrick. Thank you, Connor. Guys, see you. So, thank you so much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, NBC Sports, Boston's Tommy Curran. I thought you were going to get one final shot in there on Tommy Curran, who just ruins your life every time he comes on here. Yin stink is what he said.
I won't get that shot until later in the season when we don't sing. But yeah, I've been back and forth the past 2 weeks. Last week, we're going to be 12-5. This week, we're going to be 5-12. And it's probably going to keep going that way until it's, week 4, week 5, possibly even week 1. We might be 5-12.
And this is why I feel the beat is such a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't have that feel. I just assumed Bill's going to figure it out. They got Mac Jones. If it was a problem, they would be saying it. They're going to win 10 games. That's what the Patriots do. They're going to make the playoffs, and who knows what's going to happen. It's an 8, 9, 10 situation. That's quite a variant. I think it's out of the playoffs, into playoffs from that. Yeah. And he's saying they're going to be tweener little bubble team. It's because Buffalo Bills are still in the division. Mm-hmm. But, man, I did not expect it to be that gloomy and that doomy.
Full rebuild.
Oh, my word.
I mean, you even look back to last year, the 8, 9, 10. It was very close to being 6, 7, 8, but they won some games. And it was also very close to being 10, 11, 12 without a fumble against the Dolphins week 1, without a overtime loss against the Cowboys. It's always 8, 9, 10, 11 because football, there's 1 or 2 plays you can look back to.
We appreciate Tommy Curran, and I guess Ian's stopped by here as well. But it is time to continue to... It looks like it's not time to continue.
What?
The beat had stopped.
Oh, no.
No. Keep it
going. The beat had stopped. And the beat is back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to feel the beat. We're feeling the beat around the NFL. Diving into the weeds, learn a little bit more about our favorite teams. Joining us now, first time appearance on Feel the Beat, Bengals reporter for Enquire Sports, USA Today. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelsey L. Conway. Kelsey, how you doing?
Hey guys, good to be on with you.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Where are you right now? Are you at practice?
I'm actually in the Bengals stadium.
Ooh. Wow. Hey, that's the Procure. Paycor.
You combine Paycor and Acrisure.
Paycor Stadium, right? We're doing business now. We're the Cincinnati Bengals. We're making money. This is good news.
It is good news. It's been a wild training camp because I showed up thinking I'd just be covering the main football storylines, and I'd say for the first 2 weeks it was all about what the Bengals are doing from a business standpoint, which was interesting.
Indoor practice facility.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on now. It's 2022. We made the Super Bowl. Let's get a facility. We got a sponsored stadium because we're going to have to save money and make money to pay the guys that we have who are incredibly talented. Let's dive right into it. You broke the news, I do believe, of Jesse Bates coming back yesterday out of nowhere, signing his franchise tag and playing this year on the tender. Was there ever any worry as his holdout that he was never coming back, or did you get a sense that he was going to be joining the team at some point?
No, everyone here, including ownership, the coaches, players, thought Jesse was going to be back for the first week of the season. I will say it got a little interesting after the first preseason game, because I don't know if you guys heard, he was up in a suite wearing a Cincinnati Reds hat, and he put it on Instagram. And I think everybody thought, okay, well, that means he's probably going to come back that next week. And then he didn't come back the following week. So then it was this whole, well, what was the point of that Instagram? When is he coming back? Can they expect him to come back versus the Rams? And then if he doesn't, is 1 week going to be enough time to get him ready to go in football shape? So, yeah, it was definitely not a worry, but things got a little interesting, let's just say, after that Instagram post.
Okay, so Jesse, they're going to have to pay if they want to keep him around. And obviously, Joey Burrow's deal is here a couple years out. Jamar Chase, there's dogs on that team. They paid Hendrickson. That team is getting really, really expensive quickly. Are the Bengals planning on changing course and paying everybody here the next few years and try to keep this team together from your sense of being on the ground there in Cincinnati?
Well, the good news is Trey Hendrickson's deal is already in the books. I will say the biggest priority for this team is Joe Burrow. And then I will say after that, if you look back on the history of who the Bengals have prioritized in terms of long-term deals, it's going to be T. Higgins, who's going to be up next offseason, and then Jamar Chase. So I think from my perspective, even though I just asked Jesse, is he looking at this season as his last season with the Bengals? He wouldn't say it. He said he's going to treat this as the most important year of his career. But I think it's highly unlikely Jesse Bates will be back with his team at the extension at the number that he wants, considering T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are in line, and T. Higgins is going to be next offseason as well as Joe Burrow.
Did they tell Paycor that Jesse Bates ain't going to be there?
Yeah.
I mean, you're sponsoring the stadium. Did they tell the indoor practice facility Jesse Bates ain't going to be around? All these decisions are decisions that every team has to make at some point. Joe Burrow had appendicitis. Aside from that, we haven't really heard much out of the offense from a national standpoint. How are they looking? Is it just like last year? Are they picking up right where they left off? Obviously, a better offensive line this year than last year.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're picking back right where they left off because, like you just said, the Burrow appendectomy really threw a wrench in, I think, what everybody thought the training camp was going to be like, because he missed the first 2 weeks and his ramp-up period. He wasn't really able to do a lot. And then La'el Collins, I think, has been probably the biggest storyline that hasn't been talked about from a national perspective, is he has yet to be able to do full 11-on-11 contact stuff. So for Burrow, he's now having to get used to a new center, a new right guard, and a new right tackle, in which all three of them with Burrow have not been on the field in a contact situation yet during camp.
Joe Burrow won't be able to figure it out. No. Is he the coolest dude of all time, all the time? Is that what it feels like over there?
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I will say I covered Matt Ryan, who I know has been on your show a bunch, and he's a great guy. I covered him for 6 years, and Matt's awesome, but every time I walk into a Burrow presser, it's a different feel than it was with Matt Ryan. I'll just say that.
Well, Matt Ryan's a Navy SEAL. He's
That's
an
right.
astronaut.
Yeah, it's too serious sometimes.
Joey Burrow's just like cool icon.
Yeah. Cool Joe.
Don't worry about it.
Smoking Joe.
Boston Connor, your question for Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey, how is the vibe in Cincinnati? Do they feel a little disrespected that people aren't talking about them, being favorites in the division or going back to the Super Bowl? Or do they like that underdog chip on the shoulder mentality?
I think they like the underdog chip on the shoulder mentality. And I'll tell you, for the first time in years, the stadium sold out all their season tickets. And that just happened right after they made that postseason run. So I think that's kind of telling of how excited and starved this fan base is for some quality football at Paycor Stadium, that in one offseason they managed to up their season tickets to the point that they're sold out. So I think they kind of like that nobody really expects them to be what they are. And it is interesting to me, and Pat, I'd love your take on this, but why do you think the Bills have become like such the AFC favorite over the Bengals when the Bengals have returned almost all of their team and they even added better offensive linemen?
Yeah, we have no idea. We were actually just talking to Pete Sweeney for the Chiefs. The Chiefs have obviously started a dynasty a couple years ago, and they're not being talked about at all either. I mean, they're wondering why the Bengals are being talked about. If it means anything, there are people other places that are pissed about you guys. Yeah. So I mean, it seems to be a problem everywhere. But the Bills, I think, just because the way it ended last year, those boys are going to, go get it. But nobody knows anything, especially you guys know that. 2 years ago, 4 wins. Okay? And this is how you guys were doing press conferences. Zito, please.
I know it was actually, that was my picture. I started the viral mic cart, which was actually kind of funny. I thought I was going to upset the people within the Bengals, but I was really just trying to take a picture. But it took on a life of its own. Yeah. And it almost really became like the identity of the team, right? Like this mic cart. They don't have a podium. They don't care. They're practicing in an indoor facility, which, Pat, I do have to tell you, I played lacrosse at UC and practiced multiple times in that bubble. So I would have been one of those girls in the video that's like, wait, the Bengals are coming to practice after us? But I think it kind of like matched the identity of the team to some degree. But no, they have moved on to a podium now that we are back in person, but the mic cart thing was funny.
Well, Kelsey, thank you for sharing that photo, because we certainly had a great time with it, as did everybody.
Yes, we did.
But from 4 wins in that cart to a Super Bowl, a sponsored stadium, a indoor facility, and Joey Burrow being Joey Burrow for at least the next 10 years. We can't thank you enough, Kelsey, for joining us and making time today.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kelsey Conway. Thank you.
Kelsey!
So it was her photo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And if she said, I didn't want to upset anybody, fuck them, Kelsey. You made them better. Kelsey's lived golf. Okay?
Yeah.
Kelsey put this out, and they were forced to get better. Just like the PGA has had to do with Liv coming around. now's not the time because we're in the middle of Feel the Beat. The PGA has gotten 7,000 times better for every one of their PGA Tour players since LIV has come into the world. There's guaranteed money now going to everybody that makes the tour. They're having a stadium series where they're going to be playing like Top Golf in these stadiums where there's going to be more money. There's bigger purses. Yeah, it's like, not thank you, Tiger. I think everybody should be saying,
thank you, LIV.
Thank you, LIV. I think is what the PGA golfers should say, even though they won't say that. But we need to make sure that is a little competition can come in and really spur, some movement. And just like WWF had when WCW came and they became their best, seems like PGA Tour's answering the call, by the way, answering the bell. I respect that a lot. Let's go have a nice fair battle.
Yeah. What do we say?
Let's have a nice fair battle. Kelsey did that for the Bengals when she put that out there. They were so embarrassed. We got to at least get a podium. Everybody else, it's a fucking NFL team. Can we get a podium? They're like, we don't even have an indoor practice facility. What are you? Let's not get too crazy here. Let's go ahead and work on it.
They brought the podium to L.A. They had it on the 50-yard line right at the center of the field. The podium made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're damn right. That's quite a come-up for that podium. Hour 2 will be on the other side of this 10-minute break. Okay, let's continue to feel the beat.
I think we settled on one there.
That's a pretty good beat. I think we found it. We feel it. We found it. And for the first time in like a month of attempting this, we are having a beat reporter, a beat writer, an insider for the Cleveland Browns. Not only just any insider, any beat reporter. We're talking about the person that generates all of the news out of Cleveland for any national show. It's an honor to have her here. Ladies and gentlemen, from Cleveland.com, Mary Kay Cabot.
Yay! Hey, guys. How you doing?
Okay, Mary, it is fucking awesome to see you. This has been a long time coming. We've been excited about this conversation for a long time. Before we go any further, Cabot, Cabot.
Well, first of all, it's Mary Kay, but I'll forgive you for that for the first time. And then it's Cabot. But I also wanted to say very briefly that I didn't even know I was going to be on today, and we are dressed exactly alike.
Hey, look at us.
I am just really honored that we have the same clothes on today.
Mary Kay, I appreciate you for joining us, and let's dive right into it. Obviously, with the Deshaun Watson suspension, appeal, more games, more this, a lot of conversation around maybe another quarterback coming in. They signed Jacoby to be the guy for the first 12 weeks of the season, 11 games with the bye week. Is that what you're feeling? And how has the team been, basically, with all this drama happening everywhere around it?
They're coping. I mean, everyone is doing the best that they can. We just talked to Joel Bitonio today, and I asked...
Bitonio! We love Joel Bitonio.
I mean, such a great guy, the 3-time Good Guy award winner here in Cleveland. But I was just asking him, how did you feel about all the heat that you took on August 15th when you said it's Cleveland against the world? But and he said, I didn't mean for it to, go down like that. But I think that that sentiment is probably shared by a lot of players on this football team, probably a lot of fans in this town. This is a very difficult situation to navigate, and everyone is just coping.
Okay, Ty, your question for Mary Kay.
Yeah, Mary Kay, a lot of the rumors are popping up that, Kareem Hunt's not happy. He might be on his way out, but then Nick Chubb kind of said, hey, he's my guy. I want him here. Do you see something happening with Kareem Hunt, or is he going to be a Brown this whole year?
I think he's going to be a Brown the whole year. They have no intentions of trading him. They do not want to do that. They believe that he can help this team win football games. He's so good in the run, so good in the passing game. And especially with Deshaun out for the first 11 games of the season, they're really going to have to rely on that running game.
So do you think Chubb is going to get to rock the most? Chubb came out and said that Kareem Hunt's his best friend. Yep. Could never imagine what it's like. Is that why there isn't much panic, maybe? Because Jacoby has a great offensive line in front of him. They got 2 stallions in the back. Let's assume Hunt's going to be there. Everybody kind of knows what this offense is going to be for a while. And will that change when Deshaun gets back, or do we have no idea what that team's going to look like with Deshaun yet?
Well, first of all, I think that there is a lot of thought that a really great running game here, a great offensive line, and an excellent defense, which finished top 5 last year, and I think will be even more dominant this season. I think when you put all that together, I think there is still some optimism that Jacoby can hold down the fort until Deshaun gets back. Now, when Deshaun does come back, once he knocks off that rust a little bit, I do think that they will focus definitely more on an explosive passing game. But until that time, I think you'll see plenty of Nick Chubb. He will be the workhorse, and then lots of Kareem as well.
Amari Cooper's on the team. I haven't heard a thing. Is he all right? Is he catching balls still? He knows how to play football still?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
and the thing about Jacoby and Amari is those two guys are heating up pretty well together. They're starting to develop a nice chemistry. I saw it last week during those joint practices against the Eagles. So I do think that, there will be some good stuff coming from those two guys, and we'll see a little bit of it in the game on Saturday night.
Last question here, Mary Kay from Tone. Go ahead, Tone.
Mary Kay, so there's a lot of talk about Jacoby here. So Jimmy G is definitely not going to be a Brown this season?
I never say never in this business. I've learned a long time ago to never say never, but it's probably unlikely. The only way that it would happen is if he gets cut by the 49ers and they can get him on the absolute dirt cheap and they bring him in here as sort of a 1-2 punch, but he would start out backing up Jacoby.
Mary Kay, last question before we let you go, and we can't thank you enough for making time for us today. How many wins do you think this season for the Cleveland Browns?
The first thing that comes to mind is 9. I'm going to say 9, and that would give them a chance to still challenge for the playoffs.
What happened with Baker? What happened with Baker? They just fell out of love? Everybody hated him there? He hated everybody? How did that happen, do you think? Was there one moment?
A lot happened with Baker. A lot happened with Baker here, and I tried to chronicle all of it as best as I possibly could. But starting in about October, I was trying to let people know that there was a disconnect between Baker Mayfield and Kevin Stefanski. Baker didn't really feel as though he were being used right. He didn't think the play calling necessarily showcased his skills. And I remember at the beginning of the season, you may or may not, at the end of the season, I wrote a story saying that if it didn't get better, that he would possibly ask to be traded. And that's when he said clickbait at me.
He said, Mary Kay, enough with the bull.
That was a fun day. That was a fun day on social media. But of course, in the end, that's what happened. And now they get to meet up with him on opening day, September 11th in Carolina.
Hey, that was a good day for you on social media whenever,
Yeah.
Told ya. It all comes back around. The truth always wins in the end, and we have gotten so much news from you. We can't thank you enough. Ladies and gentlemen, from Cleveland.com, Mary Kay Kabak.
Yeah!
Cabot. Fuck, I am so sorry. We're doing so good. That's on me, Mary Kay. Anyways, that was another episode of Feel the Beat. God damn it. So awesome.
Yeah, but you said Mary Kay from the jump. She said Mary Kay Cabot, and then she said, "I'll let the."
I think I said Mary at one
for the
point.
first question. Yeah.
Yeah, her name is Mary Kay. It's not just Mary Kay. It's not like the
It's not like K hyphen.
Yeah, it's not like John Wilkes Booth.
Sure. Right.
Like people that knew John called him John Booth. Since he killed a president, he has to go under all of his name,
Wilkes.
John Wilkes Booth.
Right.
Her name is Mary Kay. Is the John
Cabot?
It's
That's
not just
the
her.
example you went with?
How
That's
many
a
other
good
people
example.
use the middle name? Just fucking assassins. That's
FDR.
it. Exactly. Use a letter.
Yeah.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
No, FDR is what everybody said.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
It's LBJ. Yeah, he used B for the entire thing.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is what?
I think B would. I could be wrong.
No, it's Lyndon
See,
B.
that's
Johnson.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Anyways, we're back in 3 minutes with hour 2. We'd like to apologize to Mary Kay.
Sorry, Mary Kay.
And we do not know her middle name, but we do know her last name is not pronounced how I certainly pronounce it on the way out there. We'll be back with AJ Hawk on the other side. A lot of good news for us to react to around the Feel the Beat segment, and we will have Chuck Pagano join us.
Here we go.
And then Shaquem Griffin, who just retired from the game of football, is already a Sports Emmy winner. He'll be on the third hour. Can't wait to chat with him. You all are the best. We'll see you in 2 minutes. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And You know, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on you. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start
you know,
self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused, they'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hour 2. Right? Now.
Football!
That's what we're talking about, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's what really gets us going.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Hour 1, obviously, we felt the beat.
Uh-huh.
We bounced around from the editor-in-chief and lead writer for Arrowhead Pride and chief analyst for KASHB 41 in Kansas City with Pete Sweeney.
Yeah.
Talked about the Chiefs. Juju Smith-Schuster will be the number 1 target outside of Travis Kelce, then MVS, then McCole Hardman. In his eyes, that is a surprise to all of us, I do believe.
Yeah, if he recovers from that knee injury from that slip and slide catches this summer.
It was a great catch, though. I mean, it stole the TikTok. Everybody else is doing some basic-ass bullshit. He comes in, slides around, does his thing, hits the Juju. Tommy Curran came on and said, team stinks.
Yeah.
That was for the New England Patriots. Connor, you feel okay about that? Or?
It's the same rain cloud we have on every other week, so I'm used to it at this point.
Tom is the rain cloud, you're saying?
Yeah, he's rain cloud Curran at this point.
Do you and him ever talk outside of this show?
No. When we saw them at Radio Row, he actually looked at me, introduced himself, and then goes, so where's the Boston guy? All right, Tom, fine.
Yeah, he kind of dunked on you. You two have 2 different views of the Patriots every single year, and I guess you bulls can just stare at each other from different pens.
Exactly. And, in the end, we both win. Because if he's right, then he's right. If I'm right, then the Patriots are good and he wins.
True.
Because the Patriots are good.
So he's kind of got the...
Exactly.
You're the only one who can be let down this time.
I'm in a win-lose.
He can dunk on you.
Yes.
You can
never dunk on him.
No.
Anyways, Kelsey Conway joined us from the Bengals. Appreciate her stopping by. Mm-hmm. And then Mary Kay Cabot.
Yes.
Of course.
Which obviously fumbled that name on the way out. She was very nice, and we're very appreciative of that.
Of course.
The conversation around Jacoby Brissett being the guy and how the offense feels. Amari Cooper making some plays with Jacoby. Mm-hmm. But look for that thing to be a run-heavy offense for the first 12 weeks at least of the season. Excited for that. The Toxic Table's here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys Tone Diggs is here, and all the boys in the back. Appreciate you guys handling Feel the Beat. That's a lot of
boys. Well done, gentlemen.
That's a lot of moving parts back there. It is great. I enjoy it. It's unprecedented.
Awesome
yeah.
It's unprecedented us doing that.
Unprecedented as a whole, really.
That means never done.
In the whole media landscape. That is unprecedented what we just did.
So unprecedented means it's been done before?
No. The opposite. Because you set a precedent.
Right.
Without precedent.
There it is.
That's
Because
the
I
word.
thought I saw.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, a man who is in an attic in Ohio.
That couldn't have been
He's
right,
a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, COVID survivor, and he has given us unprecedented looks at what it's like to talk to a psychopath every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, the face of Ohio, AJ Hall. Unprecedented AJ.
What is going on? What happened? What did I miss with this unprecedented garbage?
You wouldn't get it.
You don't
You're
understand.
right, I wouldn't. I don't know what corners of the internet someone offended you by something was
I
unprecedented.
think you guys are confused. 'Cause
Hey, good call, by the way. I mean, you just kind of pieced it together. Sounds like you just pieced it together right there. You understand how the operation works. We appreciate that. It's not an unprecedented moment. We have had these types of situations in the past. Sure. But you did piece it together. We'll let everybody else figure it out. We'll let everybody else. Town's going to try to say it right now, I believe.
No, I'm just confused. Maybe I guess I'm stupid. I could have swore a show used that word this morning about. They said unprecedented, but it's definitely something that's happened before.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. That is what we were talking
So
about.
I don't know the word.
Sports media got better today with the announcement. that came.
Goddamn right.
So we are happy about it. Michael Parsons will be joining Undisputed every Tuesday in an unprecedented sit-down. Yeah, that is what we are referring to. Yeah, that is why I have respect for them over there. But the way that thing was rolled out
Who's he joining again?
Undisputed with Shannon Sharp and Skip.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, the show. Because Shannon has a podcast as well that he does.
It's not going to be Club Shay Shay. It is Undisputed. By the way, massive Shannon Sharp fan.
Club Shay Shay is the name of his podcast?
I believe,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
It crushes.
Yeah, everything he does is awesome. Yeah, just like the unprecedented weekly interview of Michael Parsons.
Right. Yeah. It'd be nice, though.
It would be great. We are
right
happy
before the
about
show.
it. We don't want to be disrespectful because we are happy about it. But, I mean, kind of a smack in our mouth. But it's okay. It's just way.
So what about, has the unprecedented Josh Allen with Kyle Brandt been announced?
Well, that's a little different.
I don't know what's going on.
Plus,
Put the cart before the horse.
Yeah, they're also just telling Kyle, I do the McAfee thing, so it's kind of one of those things.
No, we like Kyle.
We do.
Have we seen that show?
We're the ones that said Josh was going. He didn't. So.
Well, he said, I don't want to give it away. And then we said, all right, well, there's only fucking like 10 other guys this could be.
Right.
And we were just going to start shooting them at him, by the way.
The show's going on, right? How's Kyle doing?
So that's the thing. I don't know. I've tried to watch a couple times. Has it been?
I don't think they've had their first episode yet.
Waiting for the season, probably.
Is that what he said when he came on the show? He acted like he was going on the next week when he was on the show.
AJ, we're not sure, but we know in an unprecedented. Let's get into some stuff, AJ. We talked to a lot of beat writers in the first hour. The Kansas City Chiefs are upset about the Bills and the Bengals getting all the hype. The Bengals are upset about the Bills getting all the hype. It's an interesting time right now because I think every team thinks they're going to win a Super Bowl, and they should, except for the Patriots, I guess.
Right.
There's a lot of optimism coming from a lot of teams right now, AJ. This is going to be a great NFL season, I think.
Well, I mean, I caught the Tommy Kernan conversation, and it sounds like everybody, there's 31 teams that are eyeing the Super Bowl, and the Patriots are just saying, hey, this is a rebuild year. We're just going to pack it in and try to get better for next year.
That's what I felt like to me, too. We'll go to Boston Connor to see his thoughts. Did it feel like MCDC and the Lions and Hard Knocks is saying we're not winning the Super Bowl? It's a rebuild year? I don't think so. So I think 31 out of 32 teams is probably a good depiction of that. Is that what the thought is all around Boston? Is Tommy Curran a reflection of all of the New England area, the Revolution region, mailing it in on this particular season?
I don't think it's all of the Revolution region, but I do think there are a lot of people who are very worried about the upcoming season, especially with, the Bills, the top dogs, as everyone's talking about, in the league, really being in the division. And then you can look around, like the AFC West. Can you say the Patriots are better than any of the teams in the AFC West? I don't know if you can. Can you say the Patriots are better than all the teams in the AFC North?
Kind of
Probably
defeat
not. I mean, there's just a realistic expectation.
The good thing is we don't know. We don't know who's better than who right now. We really don't. Honestly.
What if Russell Wilson can't ride?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, injuries always happen.
What if the Broncos might win every single game, too? Like, they got a team around that dude. Their defense was good last year.
They might be able to ride. They might not be able to ride. They might be able to ride. Devontae Adams seems like he's unguardable. I was listening to him chat about what he does to the pivot, and he looked at the camera and said, I can even say this because it does not matter, because in real life what actually happens versus what somebody's thinking. He said he has a Terminator thing on. I've never seen Terminator. That's like Google Glass.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Google Glass thing.
Bingo.
Basically.
He said, I put the Terminator mask on, and when somebody stands up to me, I go through, scroll, boom, boom, boom. Are you going to be on me? All right, here's the third option I have. I'm going to do this to you, and I'm going to shake the shit out of you. You're going to think I'm going one way, and you have no chance. He has like 8 different get-offs, and I think that is what he was referring to whenever he was asked what he does in the offseason and why he doesn't post stuff. He said, I play football, I run routes. I run routes. While people are posting all these different
He said, I run full speed routes, too. I run full speed routes. That's what you got. That was awesome when he did that, I thought.
Listening to him talk, though, it's like, oh, this guy is cerebral.
He's not just out there. He's not out there just relying on his athletic ability. Like, he studies. He knows exactly what he wants to do, how he sets dudes up. Like, that's the stuff that's fun for me to see when talking about how he goes about it.
And he talked about not having to be get doubled every play too. He also talked about that. You know, we got Hunter. He said if you guys are going to single Hunter's going to get open. Even though Ryan Clark doesn't think Hunter Renfrow get open.
I didn't like that.
What's that all about? Racist ass Ryan Clark
talking about
insurance salesman looking ass Hunter Renfrow can't be good, Ryan. Come on. Now Ryan's a good guy. I like Ryan. I think everybody likes Ryan. He was startled when Derwin James said Hunter Renfrow is different. He is a guy, which I think we all were. I think that's great amount of respect coming from Derwin James, but when we saw Hunter re-sign a deal and we've seen his upside, it's like maybe Hunter could be a guy. Derwin comes out and he says he's a guy. Ryan Clark was startled by it because he was up there with like Tyreek Hill. So like when Tyreek Hill does something, you worry about it. Hunter Renfrow and Ryan Clark was like,
wait a minute,
hold on.
Wait, we never put Hunter Renfrow in that conversation. And I think Devontae and Derwin James are like, hey, should maybe start showing a little bit more respect to the 5'8" white guy coming out of Clemson. He is a dog. And then Darren Waller as well. Devontae went on to talk about how he's not going to get doubled the entire time. If you double me, okay, Darren's going to eat or Hunter's going to eat. If you double one of them and I get single coverage, we saw what happened with the Lions. They had me on single coverage one time. It was a 55-yard dime down the sideline. It's like, I think that was something he was very eager and excited about. And no offense to the Packers, they've never had that many weapons at the same time as Devontae being Devontae. So it looks like the Raiders could be a fucking team too over there in the AFC West.
The two teams that we just talked about, the Patriots and the Raiders, this is what the AFC is. They are 10th and 11th in odds to win the AFC this season.
The Raiders.
Yeah.
With Devontae Adams.
And Raiders, 10th and 11th.
Go through them. Let's hear the AFC odds.
Bills. You want the odds as well?
Sure.
Bills plus 350. KC's plus 500. Chargers are plus 850. Broncos are plus 850. Ravens 950. Colts 1,200. Bengals 1,200. Titans 1,400. Finns 2,000. Browns 2,100. Pats 2,100. Raiders 2,500.
Listen to that.
Wow.
You're the Chargers. Chargers way up there, AJ. And that's, by the way, another AFC West team. We just talked about the Raiders. We can talk about the Chargers now. They got Justin Herbert another year of comfort. Keenan Allen. Mike's still getting signed over there. Eckler's still there. They bring in dogs on the defensive side of the ball. They still have yet to make the fucking playoffs with Justin Herbert, though. And their odds are very up there. They could be a team. I mean, you're right whenever you look at the AFC West. There is dogs over there, AJ.
There's teams. That's a cool thing about it. I guess it just shows how much faith people have in a good quarterback. And Justin Herbert, what are his odds to win the MVP? I would imagine they're up there.
Yeah, he's top 5. I think he's like 1,200 or something.
Is everybody good now, except for the Patriots? Obviously,
it sure seems like it, right?
It does.
If you don't have a franchise QB, man, like that's a tough deal right now if you're in the NFL.
AFC West odds to win: Kansas City Chiefs plus 155 to win the division. Chargers plus 240. Broncos, let's ride into a plus 260, and then the Raiders plus 700.
Yeah.
Wow.
That seems like pretty good.
Absolutely.
That seems like a pretty good little bet there.
In the AFC, though, like, even if you are good, like, I don't think that's getting it done this year. Like, Mary Kay was saying, like, the Browns, you know, without Deshaun for 11 games this year, hoping for 9 wins. Like, 9 wins probably isn't getting you in the playoffs in the AFC, is it?
Pete Sweeney told us, you know, their AFC West people are going to cannibalize each other. Probably get a number 3 seed. He thinks the Chiefs will with 11 or 10 wins. Probably get a 3 seed because of the way everything's kind of stacked up. There's going to be a lot of teams taking losses within the division that are going to surprise some people. And at the end, those last couple weeks are going to fucking matter.
Yeah.
And not that it doesn't always, but normally there's like 3 games it feels like that matter. That last weekend slate could be vital.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what the NFL wants. They want back-to-back super wild card weekends,
Yeah, sure.
which is what Week 18 and wild card weekend could become.
Yeah, just like last year's. Like a lot of the games came down to it the last weekend. But that was the same thought that they're saying about the AFC West cannibalizing each other that they did about the NFC West last year.
And a Super Bowl champ came from.
And 3 of the 7 playoff teams came from that division. So it's like, yeah, they might cannibalize each other, but also whoever makes it out on top could, you know, be the team that's the hottest and could make the run to the Super Bowl.
AJ, your thought on the AFC being packed to the fucking gills, dude.
When you say like they'll cannibalize themselves, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but also what iron sharpens iron. The old saying people always say, you get through that I mean, you're forged steel, man. Your whole team is. If you get through that division, you get through the AFC anywhere. I mean, so yeah, like I understand you could beat up on each other if you're playing great teams, but also you're facing super great competition that you may not see in the playoffs till the Super Bowl. If you make a run,
you're battle tested. You're saying
there you go.
Yeah, you got to figure
it
out.
You've been downrange a few times.
Oh, I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
No, we wouldn't. But in
in
all due respect,
I would like to let everybody know that it can become downrange pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last night I was just hanging out in civilian life on a lake. And then fucking 5 birds come flying over in a formation over the lake. And bird, I mean World War I planes, double wings, with shit coming out the tailpipe, flying over said lake. And obviously I'm looking at it as a good air show, but if they want to start... all of a sudden, I'm downrange.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I started thinking about it. I was sitting with the wife. We're looking out.
They're gonna start these old guys flying these old planes. Gonna start strafing the lake.
You don't know. You don't
think they got automatic weapons on there?
Maybe.
No, it would be
them.
It would be that 94-year-old lady standing on top of one of these things.
Oh yeah, with the
wing
shooter.
With the guys wing walking.
It was the plane that does the wing walking. Yeah, it was double wing old
Would
plane.
you do that?
Yeah.
Will they climb up like you get up there and then you climb up there and strap yourself in?
I'm not climbing. They strap me in, take off, put me back on the ground. I did it. Yes, but I'm
Do they
never
take
doing
off
it.
on top of. I don't think they take off on
Yeah,
top
they
of.
did.
Yeah, they do.
Just happened.
The old lady, the 94-year-old
Yeah.
lady, she's not doing Gymkhana around the fucking plane to get up there. I mean, she had to roll her ass
not
into the
David
fucking.
Blaine.
Yeah, she had a heart attack though. I think she died.
Yeah, she was barely alive. They strapped her in.
no.
She
Yeah.
wasn't going anywhere.
She was sleeping by the time they landed.
This lady's awesome. Why are you?
I love the lady. I'm glad she did it. Changed the
Sister
game.
Jean.
These are the planes that flew over my house last night. And
Was this like an air show? What was it?
exactly, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't, and I was enjoying it. But what happens if they do just accidentally? I'm like, oh, we're downrange.
I mean, that
release
does look
in
like a
the
strafing run.
Yeah, you got to keep your eyes to the sky.
It could
every
happen
once in a while.
anywhere. You know that. It could happen
Exactly.
anywhere.
You're looking for UFOs up there, maybe.
No, they're looking for battleships.
The UFO thing.
Sounds good.
I've refused to let this enter my mind until last night. But what if these motherfuckers are just coming down to kill us?
Yeah, well, and
No,
especially
you
when
can't think that way.
I started.
The
last night I
Good luck.
started.
You'll never sleep again.
That article.
1 a.m.? It was 1:30 a.m.
One way to think.
They killing all of us? They getting everybody?
No.
Yeah, wow.
About 2:15 a.m.
They want to.
About 2:15 a.m. I couldn't sleep last night. 2:15 a.m. 1:30 it crept in my mind like, what if they aren't just nice? Like I've always just in my head, I'm like, hey, they probably want to talk. Like, what if they aren't? So that was a rough 30, 35 minutes.
Sure.
As I was going through a lot of videos on the internet of what they are capable of doing and what we aren't capable of doing, they have an entirely new classification of some of these UAPs, the ones that go in the water, out of water. So the water shit's very real, I think, at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Congress and government is actually releasing and changing. I think hydrospace,
So it was
something.
like transmedial ships.
Transmedium?
Yeah, transmedium.
Transmedium,
Yeah,
hydrospace,
Yeah, it's going from water to air to space. And
without any.
Let's just call it what is not good.
Well,
exhaust.
Congress actually did say, it is the
Not
threats
man-made.
are no, not man-made. Except they did say something about it being possibly man-made.
Well, that's what they've always said.
Yes.
They've always said that this is it could be another country, foreign entity. But then they're saying that the threats are growing exponentially.
Yeah.
And that one scared me. I shouldn't have read that at 1:30 a.m. Shouldn't have read that at 1:30 a.m. as somebody that's very interested in the sky and aliens and other life forms.
Would it be more scary if they said, hey, this isn't a UFO, but it's from another country and we're not sure, and they have a lot more technology than we do?
So I never understood why people thought that was okay too. Like we would
No,
show.
that'd be terrifying if we knew they were over here and they had a lot of stuff that we don't have.
Yeah, because at least we know what some of these fucking assholes would do if they had some of these things. We can look through history and we can look through the modern fucking day in 2022 as well. So I never understood whenever I would say to somebody like, hey, that thing's pulling 1,000 G's right there. No human could sit in that thing. And you're like, oh, it's probably just some super advanced technology. From who? So who has that then? Well, it's not us probably. I'm like, okay. So
That's
this,
not good.
This doesn't scare the fuck out of you then?
Who does know? How many people do know what's happening? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It wasn't that fucking guy that testified in that House Oversight Committee.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of a TikTok one.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking probably knows.
All right.
Yeah, but he's dead.
So of course we're not getting
But
an
see,
answer.
like
dead?
other countries having that technology
been
doesn't
adulterated,
scare me
too.
because we have like Jack Cars walking
Correct.
around the country. So like that's why if
You
it's
know,
aliens,
pew, pew, can kill them.
Exactly. You know that if it's an alien, that's where you get worried because there's a chance that you can shoot a gun at an alien and they just stop it midair.
They're scared of us.
Has Alien ever been downrange? Probably not. So fucking welcome
Ever
to the
seen Chris
Thunderdome.
Pratt maneuver with a gun?
They've been down space though.
So, 30, 35 minutes are like, oh no, what if they are just picking me up and having their way with me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probing you first, no question.
All right, I mean, I can get through that. But what if they are just doing that to everybody?
Yeah.
I got through that, little negativity. I'm not normally that negative. And then I started thinking, okay, how are we going to talk to these people so they don't do that to me?
Yes.
And who are the people that are doing that conversating? Because I would assume every motherfucker that is in a position to go do so should not be doing it at this point, right?
I'm guessing that there is no communication. If they have decided that they want to just fucking have their way with us, like it doesn't matter. Like I don't think a conversation.
You got to put up a fight though.
Well, of course we're putting up a fight.
Yeah.
We already figured
You
it out.
can't just say like give up and say we're screwed. I bet they're scared of us.
Yeah, that's what I think they've been feeling out. So I think it's been a lot more like seeing what's going
If they
on.
watch the terminal list, they are definitely, and they think, oh, all humans are Chris Pratt. They got to be shaken in the boots.
Yeah, but they know that that's not the case because they've been everywhere. They were in Syracuse, New York, or Buffalo, New York, and they were in Iowa this past weekend, like within days.
Kirk's dogs.
Well,
yeah, could have been.
Kirk's dogs would be sweet if that was everywhere, but they're seeing all the bullshit that's going on around the world.
Yeah.
They're reporting back to their planets like, these motherfuckers got no idea. I mean, all you got to do is put one tweet out and that person's gone.
Yeah.
And then you do this, that story's over. They literally had them sit in their homes for 2 years, these people, and then, all right, let's go fucking kill them. But, like that is potentially what's been going on. Once again, that was 35 minutes of negativity going on in my head. Never want to go back there. Just need to acknowledge that it happened. Who's talking to them? Who is doing that? We don't need any of these fucking suits.
Gary V, probably.
I know a guy.
Who?
Our next guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now.
Caboli?
He's a man that potentially should be the...
Caboli. Is it Caboli?
It's not Mark Caboli.
Okay.
I don't know if Caboli's got time. He's going to cover Steelers, maybe give him a run around.
That's a good point.
Joining us now is the people's coach, a man who would have to rally the troops if we had to get into a battle with some extraterrestrials, some aliens. Sorry about it, Demi. These people that are potentially going to come down, or humans or things, whatever they are, it maybe ruin us. This would be the guy that we'd put in front of Brock Lesnar and the boys who are going to fight them.
Hell yeah.
The people's coach, ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Pagano.
Yeah!
That 10.
What's up, guys?
Hey, that 10 right now. Oh.
Plenty of gabagool out here.
Yeah, you look amazing.
Sunshine.
Hey, thank you for joining us. What are your thoughts on aliens, Chuck? You just try not to go there, just try to stay out of it, or have you contemplated them potentially just showing up and having their way with us yet?
Yeah, I try to stay away from that stuff. My wife is, into listening to all this stuff that's going on. So I'm on a need-to-know basis. If she hasn't talked to me yet about aliens, she's talked to me about a lot of other stuff going on in our world, which we probably can't talk about right now. But when she comes at me with the alien stuff, I'm either, number one, going to run for the hills, or number two, maybe start to dive a little deeper into that.
Yeah, well, Chuck, listen, I don't know if running's going to help. These motherfuckers go 7,000 miles an hour with no propulsion. They're just no gravitational pull, no propulsion, able to go in water, out of water, just do whatever they want, pulling like 1,000 Gs. So I don't think running matters. Maybe get on that Peloton bike, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what, when I got on the call, you guys were talking about this, so I have really no idea, where this came from. Fill me in enlighten me a little bit.
It's kind of a daily thing, Chuck.
Shut up, AJ.
Yeah, you don't know, AJ.
Okay.
Pat has seen like 15 UFOs.
Bingo. I've not just... And myself, Foxy and I have seen one.
Oh, yeah.
And it is documented, and nobody's taking us serious.
Clear as day.
But then the exact same thing that we saw starts popping up in Houston and outside of a submarine and outside all this other stuff. And it's like, oh, this is to be serious. It's like Foxy and I, sorry, we were maybe a little high whenever we were doing it. Doesn't mean that we didn't see the same thing. There's just a lot of videos, Chuck, coming out now. Boom, boom. Like a lot. And it's even been reported by Congress that since 2019, the Navy has reported that their pilots have reported a much uptick of seeing things that they don't understand. So 1:30 a.m. last night, I started wondering, like, what if they're not nice? And that has never crept into my mind. I've always been like, we can get along. I can dap up an alien and, we can kind of move along. What if they aren't, Chuck? You know, what if they aren't nice? And what if they have their way with me, Chuck? Look at me. I can't handle that.
Yeah, we all expect, that guy to be ET, right? That's what we know.
That would be nice.
That guy he was really cool, that little kid. But doesn't this fall into fake news stuff?
Chuck,
2022.
Chuck, on this program. Okay, don't do that shit. All right, we don't need any misinformation on this program. Let's dive into some sports here, Chuck. Let's dive into some sports. This is going to be the third preseason game and last preseason game for a lot of teams. I guess there's 2 teams that have a game, Falcons and somebody else have a game maybe Monday. I don't know. They were on you get it. Last week in a preseason here. Are teams made mostly for coaches? Is there any guys that are really on the bubble? And how many normally going into this final game are you really thinking, are they going to make it or not make it? Are guys earning jobs in these actual plays, or has it already happened in practice and such?
No, Pat, I just think that your top 2 deep are set right now. These coaches and personnel people, front office people, they know who's going to make this roster. They're figuring out maybe 50 through 53, and it might. And you, as you know better than all of us, it's probably going to come down to who's going to excel on special teams.
Here we go.
More than anybody else. So I think they know what they have. The biggest thing to me right now is people are still deciding, okay, do we play guys? Do we not play guys? There's no way in hell I'm putting any of my guys out there at this point that I already know. What am I going to find out? A guy can take a snap, break a huddle, call a play. And risk. We looked at what happened to Kayvon, Thibodeau last weekend, right? And that block you guys talked about, everybody talked about. Can you imagine losing? Where'd he go? Number 4, number 5 overall, your first round pick, losing him for the year, in a preseason game, going against who knows who that tight end was, right? And he's just doing what coaches.
That was Thad Moss. That was a dog. Hey, Chuck, you sent me some texts on this play. And if you want to reiterate them while we run them here, you said the NFL Competition Committee talks about this block nearly every single year because there is some video like this that maybe hits the internet and causes a conversation. But the decision is made every single year that the defender, Thibodeau here, and Thad Moss have a chance to realize each other are there so it can be something. And when you watch this, are you just bummed out about the technique? Do you think it's just a play? What do you think as you watch this, Chuck?
Well, I think like everybody else thinks, it looks really, really bad. Now, the competition committee, what you just, to your point, says, okay, this guy coming back across the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, Thibodeau has time to recognize and defend himself. That's the difference from maybe, the perimeter blocks, the crackback blocks that have been taken out of the game, that this guy has time to see this thing coming. I think we all agree with that. And then, has a chance to defend himself. So, to me, both players are at risk here. Because if you're asking me, if I'm the tight end and you're asking me to go low on this, all I need to do is catch a knee to the head and I got a concussion and I'm out a week or 2 and I'm in the protocol, head and neck. So, if player safety is really at the forefront, I say get all these cut blocks out. The zone schemes that people are running, and lines are running sideways, the Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan outside zone stuff. AJ knows this. Those D linemen, they're hanging on for dear life. The guy, they're lined up over a guard, and the guard starts to run, and the tackle next to him, the guard can't put his hand on him, but the tackle next to him goes, and we used to call it a shoe shine. He goes right for your ankles and takes your ankle out. We've seen a bunch of guys, lose a bunch of play time based on that block. They're egregious. And again, all the offensive guys, and even, Dayball came out and said, hey, I have this play in the playbook. We know it's a dangerous block, but we don't want it out because everybody uses it now. So all the offensive guys are voting, hey, keep it in. The defensive coaches at the competition committee, hey, we want this out. So I think at some point, someone's going to go down. We're going to lose some of our star players, and they're going to eventually just say, hey, it's out.
Warren Sharp, Rich Eisen, and Macho might get it changed, though.
Yeah, they could.
Legit might get it changed after that whole thing.
How about, no cut blocks outside this 5x5 box, where now these offensive linemen, these big pullers, how many truck plays have you seen, these crack tosses? Every single game, right? Because these poor little 180, 190-pound corners that used to come up, and we just said, hey, saw off that guy's outside leg. Take him out, get as many, like bowling pins, get as many as you can, just wreak havoc as deep and as far back in the backfield as you can. And now those little guys can't cut. So they got to come up and kind of skate, move their feet a little bit, put their hands out, and this 330-pound lineman just blows them into bejesus.
Wow.
You know, they got no chance.
Blows them up.
You know, I mean, so yeah, to me, I think player safety again is at the forefront of our game. You know, I'd get these things out. They're really hard to defend because you're asking Thibodeau on that, really, because it's a split zone play. He's supposed to go underneath, tackle blocks down, you squeeze, okay, and you go underneath to be underneath that kick out block, and it's almost impossible to get underneath that. And then there's
that backer scrapes over top.
So, go ahead.
You want that backer to, so you think they want him to go spill that, and then this 48 scrapes over top here to the motion there, or if you want the ball to bounce back outside, maybe.
You know, people have different schemes. You know, we taught this guy to go blow that thing up, blow underneath it, and let the backer scrape over the top and define, make the ball declare outside, and go run it down.
You know,
Wink got guys coming over the top with the ghost motion as well.
Yeah.
You know Wink, right? That's probably what Wink's teaching too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Wink's a great coach, great defensive coach, and probably should have been a head coach a long time ago. But hopefully he'll get his opportunity. That's pretty much what everybody's teaching on that split zone is for that guy, because you can box it, but backers are flowing. Then you got seams up inside. We never wanted any vertical inside run lanes as far as defense. We wanted the ball going sideways as much as possible.
Hell yeah,
absolutely. You want the running back to stop his feet and have to redirect, no question, for sure. Don't want him to go downhill. But you mentioned Wink. I know he's coaching with the Giants now, the D coordinator, and they talk about how much he blitzes. What's his philosophy there? Like with what does he just want the offense to never feel comfortable? I read some stuff where he's talking about he wants to always confuse their offensive line and their quarterbacks on their protection, so they're never really confident. Is that something like how tough, I guess, is that to do? Because your defense has to be on the same page.
And a follow-up to that, Bill Belichick was pissed that Wink did that in the first preseason game. Is that something that Wink has to get in? Like, a lot of these guys have no idea what his defense is, right? It's very unique.
No, it's you know, they get off the bus, you know, bringing 7, 8, 9 guys. That's just the philosophy. We were together in Oakland with Rob Ryan, and then together, you know, I was at the Ravens with Rex, and Wink's had time with both those guys, and they're of the mindset that we're going to dictate, you know, the tempo of these football games, and we're going to do just enough, especially on money downs, third down, situational stuff, where we're going to put a bunch of guys out there. We're going to stand them all up, you know, amoeba defense, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it next to impossible for, you know, some of these young quarterbacks, certainly, but these offensive linemen, these centers, to try to, okay, who are the known rushers? You know, and you got all these guys standing up, moving around, and they've got to identify for the line, okay, these are the 4 bigs, these are the 4 down in the mic. That's who the line has. And then tight ends and backs and things, you know, they got to figure out, you know, which blitzers, number one, are coming and who do we have. So it creates a lot of confusion, a lot of angst, but it's live by the sword, die by the sword. You know, so you got to maybe pick and choose your time to do this, but Wink's philosophy has always been, this is who we are. So when you come to New York now, or you came to Baltimore, you know, you knew what you were signing up for. So like if you're a D-back, 1st and 10, 2nd and medium, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 18, doesn't matter, 2 minute, end a half, end a game, red area, we're going to pressure you. And we're going to ask you to play bump and run man-to-man a lot. So they go out and find those dudes that have that confidence and that swagger and love lining up in your face and getting after your ass. And it's fun, like for the D-line and the linebackers to stand up and move around. Again, it creates a lot of chaos. And going back to when I was at Baltimore with Rex, Ryan, you know, and Mike Pettin, who's, you know, comes from the same system, you know, we put in a bunch of these pressures, and some of them were 4-down looks, some of them were 3-2 looks, odd looks, spinner looks, a bunch of guys standing up, not very many guys with their hands in the ground. And that system had been in place for a long, long time. So they had the ability just to say move, like Jared Johnson was 95 and Suggs was 55. So we could call the same pressure and run it one time in the say the first quarter. And then we could come back to it in the second half in a critical situation, call the exact same pressure, But all those guys on that defense, Eddie Reed, Ray Lewis, Suggs, they all knew all the moving parts. So they let those guys take ownership of that, and they would just switch sides. And it's the same exact pressure for the defense, for the Ravens, but to the offense, it looks totally different. They're looking for, why is he over here now? So they redirect the pressure, okay, or the protection, right? They think it's coming here, all right? So they get them to, move the direction, redirect the pressure or the protection to the left, and then they re-ID it, and the guy goes lucky, 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 and then all of a sudden everybody's coming from the right, and they have all these free runners. And so those cover guys that have to cover, they don't have to cover very long. They know that ball's got to come out, and they know they're going to give up some plays. So everybody's good. Everybody's on board with it.
That's why the amoeba defense.
Yes.
It's so awesome. Ty Schmidt, your question for Coach Chuck Pagano.
Chuck, recently MCDC said that he's not a big rah-rah guy and that he basically doesn't care if other people think he's a moron. Like, he would rather people think he's a moron going into games. What do you think other coaches in the NFL think of him? Because like from Hard Knocks, it's very apparent that he's genuine and he does care, and it seems like that could be more of like a media narrative that he's just a big dumb dipshit. Like other coaches in the NFL don't share that sentiment, do they?
No, I think we've had a big enough sample size of MCDC, Coach Campbell, that this is who he is, and he's staying true to himself. And I just feel like the guys that get thrown into these positions as head coaches, the guys that try to be somebody else, they don't make it. They fail, and it's proven time and time again with a bunch of guys out there that have made it 1 year or 2 years, and they just fall flat on their face because they don't stay true to who they are. And one thing about Dan, he is authentic. He is genuine, and you can call him whatever you want to call. It's just more battery, more chips on their shoulders for that organization and that team. It's like, F you, it's us against the world, and I'm going to be who I am. And at the end of the day, you stay true to that. You can look yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I stayed true to that. And if it didn't work, I have no regrets.
MCDC
I have no regrets.
Hey, the pants dust, the dust in the pants, how come you never did that? How come you never did the dust in the pants thing?
Got to get this shit out of here, man.
Man, you dust, man.
Can't do it, man.
Dirt, man. He did that. I was looking at the team, though. He hasn't lost the team. Like, you try to keep an eye, and I assume you do this as a coach as well. When Joe Judge had them boys running 110s in full pads last year at training camp, AJ and our first reaction was, everybody did them. Like, there wasn't a guy in the back that was like, hey, fuck off. I'm an adult. I'm not doing that. Now, it ended up not working, but the team was literally all in there. This Lions team feels all in, right? There's different ways to go about it, Chuck, right? Don't you think? If you got everybody all in, that's all you're really looking for.
Yeah, again, when you can do that stuff, but you got to win. At the end of the day, I think at bottom line, you got to produce, and they've got to see, some light at the end of the tunnel. Because if the results are the same, then eventually, it's like our man Jamal is his name, right? William.
Mm-hmm.
When that speech comes up, it's once a week, every week for the last 2-3 years. It's fallen on deaf ears, for the most part. I mean, let's just call it like it is. We keep it up. A show, right?
Whoa!
Hell yeah, Chuck.
If you can win, and he's got those guys, to buy in, but now, they got to see results at the end of the day. But, that's a good. We used to talk about. We all know what bad ball looks like, right?
Yeah.
And we used to use some different ways to illustrate that at Indy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like porn. We all know what porn looks like, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, two people fucking each other.
So it's like bad ball. I mean, we know what bad ball is, and we got to get it out. So he could have done that. He could have brought in some poop, and said, "Hey, we got to get out of here
next week."
I hope he brings
the dirty pants.
Eats it.
But what he's trying to illustrate those guys is like the sins. You can't self-inflicted negatives. We can't beat ourselves.
Oh, I forgot about the self-inflicted negatives. The old sin out there.
The sins,
Hey, number one. The ball.
Hell yeah.
Okay? The quarterback. Affect them and have a good one.
You got it.
Number 3.
Affect and protect.
Affect and protect. There it is. God damn it. Number 1's
the ball. The ball. Keep it. Take it away.
Number 2, quarterback. Affect and protect. Number 3, field position. Win it. No. And we were 4 or 5. I don't remember if we were 3.
It's good, but it's half-court offense, full-court defense, right? With field position.
Nice.
Wow, there it is.
There it is, Chuck. I remember. Hey, that's years ago. That's like 5 years ago for me now at this point. That's how
Run
long.
the ball. run the ball, stop the run.
Easy.
Play great situational football.
Let's understand where we are, when we are.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chuck, do you have to run still to win it all? Do you have to be able to run?
One more time, AJ.
To win it all, do you still have to be able to run the ball consistently?
Yeah, I think so, because you're still going to get in some situations where maybe because of injury or, it's a 4-minute drill and you're trying to take the air out of the game. I think that still applies. And again, that's part of that formula for us was, we were going to out-physical our opponent, week in and week out. And so I think you still got to be able to impose your will, and there's nothing that, just takes the air out of your sails when they can run the ball down your throat and you can't do anything about it. You can't stop it. And you're over there trying to scheme up a bunch of crap, and fix this and fix that. And nothing works, So I think you still, even in this pass happy league that we're in right now, and all the rules are set up, for offenses to be able to move the ball up and down the field, throw the ball for, 350 yards a game and put a bunch of points on the board. I still think there's a time and a place where, because it all starts in the trenches. And if you can dominate with that old line and run the ball, you can just take the wind out of the opponent's sails in a heartbeat.
Chuck, it matters when it matters too. Like, I think there's a lot of games you can win by not having a good run game, but when it's December, January,
when you need to run, when you have to run,
there's going to be a game that's going to show up, and everybody's going to be like, "We've known that this team hasn't been able to do this, but it hasn't been talked about because you win games. But when it matters, that's whenever all the flaws get exposed. I think when the good teams are all left, and I think that's what we always talk about when we're judging teams. Like, yes, they're going to have success. Yes, this team is good, but at some point they're going to have to prove, A, that this quarterback can make a throw, B, that they can run a ball or stop the run. Like, in the end, it always comes back to the same shit, it feels like, Chuck. When it really matters, it does.
Well, Patriots and the Bills last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
The wind's blowing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And so he goes in there and he says, okay, our game plan has just changed. And that's the brilliance of Belichick. Says, okay, we're going to run it every down, and we may throw it once, twice, maybe 3 times. But this is how we're going to win this game. And he knew on Wednesday, when he's talking to his team about it, okay, here's the Bills, here's how we're going to go up there and win this game. And the forecast, he already had the forecast out. He already knew that it was going to blow 1,000 miles an hour. And, field goal posts were going to be coming down, all that stuff. So he said, okay, this is how we're going to win this game. And all those guys are just sitting there, nodding, going, he's exactly right. He's been right for a long frickin' time, and they go and do it and win that game.
And he puts on the Navy COVID mask. As he shows up, he has the Navy mask on, almost like calling his shot, like, hey, I grew up in the Navy, okay, actual Naval Academy football team. Tonight, we're running fucking wishbone. Tonight, we are running the ball just like Navy has forever. Get the win. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. Ty Schmidt, your question. Oh, I'm sorry. Connor, your question for Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck, sticking with MCDC, he ran a players ran practice with none of the coaches on the field, and he basically just kind of sat back and watched. Have you ever heard of that happening, and how do you think that went?
No, I've never heard of it, and I do believe in giving the players ownership. But I haven't heard of it, Connor, to that extent. But you're seeing more and more of this. I look on the, sideline, and Kyler Murray is, got the headset on. He's got the play sheet on.
Oh, you're swearing out here, the play shit? Have a little respect.
Play sheet, and he's calling, excuse me. Sorry to all the viewers out there.
Thank you.
Listeners. So he's calling the plays, and then, I'm not going to subject myself as the head coach to this, because what is it said at the end? Okay, yeah, it's right there. Kyler Murray 14, Kingsbury 3. So why would you do that? So I believe in giving the guys ownership to a certain point, a certain extent. But again, here's the bottom line. All right, you can be creative. You come up with all these different ways to motivate your team. To sell them, to get them to buy in, get the left up, as we used to say, Pat, get a left up.
Bat the ball, Dahn.
Quit swimming against the current and trying to swim upstream. It's only going to kill you. Remember we said that river that's flowing, just jump in. Anybody who rafts, you jump in, put your feet down, facing downstream, and just go with the flow till you find a spot that, and quit trying to fight against, swim upstream. But all that's fine and dandy, but you got to win. At the end of the day, it still comes down to winning.
This is all cool. This is all cool. You don't win, you're fucking fired. That's what Chuck said. This is all fun. All right, I love what everybody's doing. This is a blast. I've coached for like 40 years. Yeah. This is fun. They don't win games, they're going to be fucking doing their little song and dance somewhere else. And that's really what it is. You win, you're good. You lose, you're gone. It doesn't matter about anything else.
No matter what position you have in the National Football League, front office, you pick shitty players, you're out as a GM, personnel guy. Coaches, you don't win enough games, bottom line, you're out. Players, if you don't produce, and the wheels come off, you're done. You're out. Pretty simple.
Chuck, what was the hardest part going from longtime coordinator, assistant coach to head coach? I know you have all the responsibilities you don't want, where you're not coaching, like media every day, all of that stuff. Is it more of like I would assume some parts of that are annoying, where you just want to get your hands on the guys and coach them?
Yeah, it sucked, to be quite honest with you. It's what drives me out of, you love you're keeping it real again, right? The paycheck is awesome. It's awesome when you open that thing up and you're looking at that thing and it's like, this has got to be a mistake, but with that comes a lot of responsibility. And we all got into coaching to coach and be around the guys, and there was nothing greater than, being a position coach and having your room and, whether it be, on the offensive side of the ball with the running backs, wideouts, O-line, for me, defensive backs, that was such a, Pat, your room there next to my office, with Midge, you and Vinny and Matty Overton in there with Midge and the guys. I mean, there's nothing like that. But then to your point, AJ, to have to deal with just after a game, go in the locker room, maybe it's a tough loss, talk to the guys, and then when that's over, those guys are out, they're in the parking lot. Our motto was win or lose, we booze. Yep. It took me an hour to get to that, that tailgate, win or lose, we booze. Because then you got to go do the media. Then you got to go talk to this guy. And then maybe, Jim wants to get on a call or the GM wants to talk, and before you know it, you're the last guy out of there. So, and then all the responsibility. But with that, it takes you away from the coaching aspect of it, what you really just love to do. And going back after the head coaching stuff, I mean, I loved it. And, very, very grateful for the 6 years that I got in Indy, running that organization, that program, but then going back and being a coordinator, in Chicago and not having to deal with all the things that the head coach has to deal with. Oh, man, that was awesome.
That was a dream, huh, to get back in there for your football life. A nice little time. Last question here for you, Coach. We can't thank you enough. Tone, go ahead.
Coach, I heard a thought this morning. I wanted to see your thoughts on it as well, and it's regarding the Steelers quarterback position. And they said, you could go with Mitch, and if Mitch doesn't do well, you could go to Kenny. But if you start the season with Kenny and he doesn't do well, you can't go to Mitch. What are your thoughts on that type of situation?
Yeah, it's a great question, and boy, they've done a phenomenal job. All three of those guys have done a phenomenal job and have produced, when they've gotten the opportunities this preseason. So to me, if it's me, and again, I'm not going to, Mike T, we all got mad love and respect for Coach Tomlin, and he's not had a losing season ever. 16 years, I think, at the helm there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I mean, he's never had one. So whatever decision he decides to make, I mean, we're all going to go with it and say, shit, this guy knows. He's been right for a long, long time. So, but if it's me, I go with I think the easy and obvious one, and it's not just because he's a veteran guy and he's got experience, but you go, with Mitch, because he's been there and he's done that, and you let this kid continue to learn, and grow instead of, to your point, Tone, you throw them out there, and now it's real football. It's not the 2s and 3s that you're going against.
Whoa.
And they're not just lining up in a vanilla, 4 or 5 man front and playing a couple. And I saw some clips where they threw some blitzes at him, and he hung in there. I mean, and he looks really good. But to me, you start Mitch or Mason for that I don't know.
Yeah,
there we go.
You start the veteran guy and let those guys go out there, because they're going to make it real easy on whoever is under center at quarterback. They're going to run the football, play great defense, get the ball out of the quarterback's hand, all those kind of things, and then see what happens. I think it's a lot easier to go from Mitch to Kenny than have Kenny get thrown out there, and then shit, if he gets shit kicked out of him and gets blown up and throws a bunch of picks and no touch, doesn't move the thing, and then you got to sit him down. Shit, he may never recover from those scars.
Yeah, mentally, honestly. Physically is also something. You kind of took a shot at all these quarterbacks that are doing well in third and fourth quarters of preseason games.
Yeah.
Kind of there, but hey, what do you know? You ain't never fucking been around. Speaking of being around, Chuck Pagano is going to be with us all season in studio on Thursday.
Let's go!
Hey, super excited. Very pumped to have you back in my life. I think the boys are going to learn a lot from you. You'll be live in the Thunderdome with us, breaking down film, doing your thing for Thursday Night Football. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your retired life here, Coach.
No, thank you, Pat. I would walk to Indy every single week to be with you and the boys. And it's just, I'm so grateful, and it's going to be an awesome deal to be able to spend, a full day with you guys at the Thunderdome, and I'm freaking pumped.
Me too.
Let's go. Hell yeah.
You think I could still punt if I had to right now?
So that's why I text you. I said, you don't work on
Sundays. All right, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Remember I said I text you, don't work on Sundays. There's some other things that you have to, probably clean up, but, be able to pass whatever. But, but yeah, I mean, Sundays are still open for you, right?
Yeah, well, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, Thursdays are going to be awesome. I can't wait to see you in person. You're the best, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Pagano. Got a lot of texts from a lot of people in the last 24 hours.
What are you talking about?
Believe it or not.
About what?
Well,
you going to play football again?
All right, we got a hard out here coming in about 30
what
seconds.
Happened? What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
So, a guy who I'm a massive fan of suffered a very unfortunate and devastating injury yesterday for the Indianapolis Colts. Rigoberto Sanchez, the punter that took over after I left and retired out of nowhere, who has done a fantastic job. Boring punter, because all he does is everything right all the time. He beat cancer last year.
Yeah.
Now he's got a torn Achilles. This dude's been through it all. He'll come back even better. But yes, I've received a lot of text messages about what I'm up to this fall. I've been retired for 4 years, dude. That's a long time.
No, it's not
That's a long time, dude. That's a long time. I was punting balls at training camp the other day, though.
A lot of them.
Pretty good, too.
Barefoot. I was turning some over. And when I was hitting those balls, I actually... and this is the thing. I read the universe a lot. I like to. I think the universe. Now, religious people say God puts it in front of them. I just say the universe puts shit in front of me for me to, and I should acknowledge those things. So when somebody like Jim Irsay told the story when he came on the show, he said there's this guy who was in a flood and he was at a house and a boat came and he said, hey, why don't you get on the boat? He said, God will save me if God wants this to happen. He go, okay. Then they sent a helicopter in and they dropped the line down. And the person was like, hey, get out of the flood. You can join me on here. And the guy's like, no, God will save me if he wants me to be saved and go out there. So inevitably he dies from the flood. He gets up there, he talks to God, and he goes, God, I thought you were saving me. He said, I sent you a fucking boat and a helicopter.
Yeah.
I believe that story is a real one. Like, I think the universe shows you things. Like, when I retired, I thought there was a lot of things that were just stacking up, and the universe was like, hey, dude, it is time. Even though you could probably still kick balls, it is time. So the universe... last week when I was at training camp, and this is not something I would ever do. Like this, it actually came out of nowhere. There was no reason for me to do it. I started punting the ball, and I was like, let me see if I could still do this if I had to. It's literally what first 10 kicks were terrible. Then about 12, I started turning it over a little bit. And then like the next 20 balls, I started hitting well. And afterwards, I'm chatting with everybody, including the training room, the equipment room, the PR people for the Colts. I'm like, I just had to find out if I still had it or not, And everybody's like, still got it. I was like, yeah, I think so. I think I still got it. But my knee hurt. My plant knee hurt like a motherfucker. Afterwards, so it was a whole thing. So last night, as I'm getting bombarded with text messages, and now tweets are coming out. DeForest Buckner sent me a tweet, and everybody, here it is. I know you still got some juice in that leg, last dance, ? And it's an incredible honor that people reach out to me. And obviously, the Colts are not the first team to reach out to me whenever a kicker or a punter injury is taking place to see if I'm in there. But it was hard not to be like, why did the universe have me punt 32 fucking balls last week and see if I could still have it? It's in there. My rights are still with the Indianapolis Colts. It's in Dahn. We got 18 days till kickoff. It's hard not. Now, granted, everybody knows the FanDuel deal. We got a SeatGeek deal, a Roman deal. There's a lot. There's 12 families that are. Yeah, I was barefoot too. It was a whole. That was a jugs ball. There's a lot of things to think about, and I thought about.
Why are you barefoot plant leg?
Because that shoe, the one they gave me, had like this high platform, and I was like breaking my ankle every time I took a step. I was sliding off the side of it. And I'm like, well, that ain't going to help me at all.
Like Hoka's.
Yeah, it was like, exactly. It was like a
You're
Hoka
also
thing.
punting with an untied shoe pretty well.
Yeah, well, it's the Hoka
Can you punt
shoe.
with a bare? You can punt with a bare foot pretty good, I'm guessing.
Yeah, if I was like the dumbest human of all time.
Yeah, those balls were not kicker balls.
Saying if you
They
had
were
to.
hard.
They were jugs balls. But anyways, it was a lot of, I don't know. Ty just had a baby. Bill just remodeled a home. Bill spent more money on his house to rebuild it than he did to buy it.
Right.
2X actually.
He had no idea. Zito just did the same thing to his house. Nick has a house. He's getting married.
does that have to do with it?
Tone's, married, has a family, or has a house. Connor's still doing his thing downtown.
Hell yeah.
But it's like, like there's a lot of things on my plate that are vastly different than maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago with the amount of guys. So, I mean, last night I spent a large portion of it trying to piece together how that would look and if my body could handle it. And we have not got an answer yet. And we don't know if the Colts are directly, interested. It would have to be a real thing. But to Chuck's point, I ain't passing no fucking weed test for some time right now. I mean, that ain't.
Do they even make you take them
test for it?
anymore?
I don't know, because I even thought about this. This about 12:30.
Wizinator?
No, that was I assume they're going to look for the big
Fake
dong.
wiener.
Yeah, they have to look at your dong now when you pee in the.
You got the same color as
with
yours,
a 22-inch penis.
My God, impressive.
The piss test guy going, God damn, your penis is grown. I'd be smoking when I was, and I have no idea. I don't know if I'm good enough to get back. I don't know if the body's good enough. I don't know if the Colts actually would want me to do this. I mean, there's a lot happening here quickly. And Rigoberto Sanchez is a dude I fucking love. So it's like there's a lot happening here. And our building has a lot going on. But I would have been smoking when I was retired in legal states. So there's no way that if they were to potentially test me, if this was to happen, and I had THC, and they wouldn't be able to punish me for that because I wasn't in the league.
breaking the wall.
You know what I mean? So, like, I had that thought, but that would be a reason, and who knows if the NFL has any reason in that particular standpoint,
I don't know. I thought you were going to say when you were worried about the aliens last night, you got up and punted a few balls.
No, last night I couldn't. New house doesn't have just a fucking football field in the back.
No.
You don't have that floodplain you can punt in?
Exactly.
You could put maybe like a fishing rod line around a football.
That'd be
Punch
smart.
into the water, reel it back in.
Yeah, tied to your wrist.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Like Diggs did with that brick he tied to his foot.
Yeah. Yep.
When he was trying to cross a frozen river to see if the ice was thick enough. He tied a rock to his ankle and threw it ahead. And if it went through, he knew that he would go through. But the funny thing about that is, you're tying a rock to your ankle.
Yeah.
So...
Did you have a quick release on your ankle or anything, Diggs?
No, it was fucking 4 a.m.
Yeah,
probably.
blacked out.
I mean, there's...
Slaughtered.
But for those that are wondering, I have thought about it. I have been thinking about it. It did keep me up all night because this does feel like a potential universe thing happening. But there's a lot going on in this particular business that I would have to... But who knows if the Colts even wouldn't be a part of that. And this life is very good. I'm enjoying life right now immensely and trying to focus fully on this type of thing because I think it's gettable. I think this business is gettable.
Absolutely.
Like, I think it is. I think, unprecedented stuff happens.
That's right.
A lot of it.
That would be unprecedented. If that was to happen, I think it would be unprecedented.
Yeah.
But the punter position would be the one.
Yeah.
A lot of things have to happen, a lot of moving parts. Who knows if the Colts are interested? Just everybody watching that has tweeted me, you and I are on the same exact fucking page. It is wild. It is weird. It is taking place. And I'm probably in one of the best shapes I've been in my life. But this, hey.
It's all your plant leg?
Yeah. I don't know. We got to figure out whether or not it'd be good. And also, I'm nowhere near as explosive as I was 4 years ago. That could come back, though. I think that's something that could come back.
That comes back quick.
That could come back. I don't have to kick off.
Nope.
True.
Actually, I might. I don't know. I'm making decisions for the team now. We don't even know. We don't even know. Yeah, that's probably not.
These are my terms.
Anyways, let's get to a break. Hour 3 will be on the other side. Shaquem Griffin will be joining us. He retired, I believe, made the announcement today. We'll chat with him soon. Obviously, he is the inspirational tale out of UCF alongside his brother. The tag team are fucking awesome for the Seahawks for a while. He's moving on to his next step. We will talk to him for that. What will our next step be, AJ? This show ain't going anywhere.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, we're back in 3.
Tony, why don't you get more usage out of that? You spent
don't
like
you wear it?
$500 on it,
Yeah.
and it's just sitting behind you.
Stop wearing the cowboy hat.
Yeah,
Wear that.
seriously.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
that would
that'd
be
be
awesome.
You look like we're about to throw you off the roof.
That is fucking
You
absurd.
look like Evil Knievel.
Yes. That thing is awesome.
I can hear anything. I feel like I'm strapped into the fucking pilot seat right
You
now.
are. You look good.
I think I may have got a little whiplash. I'll hit those thrusters and this thing is awesome. I may never take this.
How many G's? Have you?
Yeah, I just pulled 8 or 9 right there.
Oh my
This thing
God.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, thanks for your service.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, next.
I am going to have to take it off because I cannot hear anything.
That was fucking gold.
Oh no.
Oh
Boy,
no.
that thing is tight, huh?
Well, it's fucking exact size of fucking to TC's head.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 of this glorious Feel the Beat Wednesday, August 24th, 2022 starts now. Football is what we talk about most because that's what we know the most about. Speaking of knowing a lot about football, this man has been a champion at all levels.
Yeah.
2 different times at Centerville High School in Ohio. He had 41
No,
tackles.
not at high school. Unfortunately, it's tough to win a state title in high school
Jeez.
for me.
Bum.
All right. 31 tackles or 41?
50. Why not?
No, it was 41. Remember, we had it wrong, and then the guys were like, "Hey, it's actually 41."
2 times
tackles.
this guy had 31 tackles in a game.
Yeah.
2 times in high school at Centerville, Ohio, which is the most Ohio high school of all time.
Sure.
I know numerous people from that high school. They are all the same Ohio fuck that you expect, and they are all dogs. This man, the biggest dog of them all. He would go on to becoming a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, and a COVID survivor.
Yeah.
When he was doing that 31 tackle night twice in high school, he had no idea that he beat the shit out of COVID-19 2 times later in life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is AJ Hawk.
Hey, baby AJ!
Hey, AJ.
Good reset for the new crowd that came back to the show.
Yeah, just people that don't know who this guy is. I mean, for the clip shows, people that watch just the clips of the show have no clue who you are. There's a lot of people on Twitter like, what is the big face guy on the right? Why is he even here? It's like, well, watch the show. The guy brings nothing but magic to the show. We are thankful that you have joined us. Speaking of Ohio people, Rest in peace to legendary quarterback Len Dawson,
Yeah.
who just by looking at a photo of him and what he did either after a game or at halftime with a beer in between his cleats and a cigar in his mouth, you would assume this guy was from either Pittsburgh or Ohio. Literally what I said this morning when I looked at the photo, we looked it up. He's from Ohio. He passed away at the age of 87. He was drafted by the Steelers with the number 5 overall pick and spent the majority of his career with the Chiefs. Accumulated 28,700 pass yards, 239 touchdowns, 4-time champion, 7-time All-Star / Pro Bowler, and the man in the photo that is shown all the time about what the NFL used to be. This is an Ohio guy through and through, I'd assume, AJ. You guys have learned about him in elementary school, about what he did and what he has
That's
accomplished?
halftime at the Super Bowl.
Halftime at the Super Bowl.
Miss you, Len.
This Ohio guy doing this thing. You guys learned about this in elementary school?
I mean, yeah, when men were men, man, they don't make them like this anymore. Len Dawson's
Goddamn right.
Len Dawson is a legend. Rest in peace, Len.
Mm-hmm.
An Ohio man.
87. He had a good run.
Miss you, Len.
87 is a good run, I think.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die by the age of 30, and then now probably 40. Like, that is I honestly thought I was going to die young. Always did.
How? Like in a freak accident or like an overdose?
I just assumed my body was it would just quit somehow. Whether it was accidental overdose or just saying, nah, this ain't what we signed up for. We're going to choose a new body next time. Like, I just assumed that was going to happen. I mean, there's papers from whenever I was like elementary school, high school, you name it, talking like, yeah, I'm going to die young, so this is just kind of how this goes. So, I've kind of had to change my perspective because now I want to live forever. 87's job way well done.
Great run. So. And especially guys like that who played then, like, I'm guessing a lot of hard living. Like, this guy smoked a lot of cigarettes, probably drank a lot, took some big hits, like... That's
eye gouges. There was no rules back then.
Yeah, exactly.
This dude smoking cigars and having a beer at halftime of a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So what is he doing after the Super Bowl, or let's just get crazy, the night before the Super Bowl?
Exactly.
I couldn't even fathom what it was like. Joining us now is a man who has hung up his football cleats, a man who is inspirational, already has won an Emmy because his story and his work ethic and his grit and perseverance is something that every little kid should look up to and say, I want to be like that motherfucker. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaquem Griffin.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me today.
Hey, congrats on retirement. I know it's not easy, so congratulations. And what would you, when you look back on your NFL career, what are your thoughts as a whole? Did you enjoy your time in the biggest league on earth, Shaquem?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me is I enjoyed it a lot. I feel like for the most part is the learning experience that the NFL brings to you. And, for me, it was an advantage because I was there with my twin brother. When you talk about doing everything and everything comes half off or 50% off, it matter if it's clothes, shoes, getting food, or having a home, like everything's 50% off. So that is a clear advantage. But I feel like the most thing that I took away from it was the people around, the brotherhood that we had, and being around guys like KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner, Russ, and being able to learn different things about life outside of football. I felt like what put me at peace about a lot of things that I'm doing as far as the career I want to partake in, or being able to motivate, or be able to be that influence that I am, and being able to give back and help.
That's awesome.
When Seattle drafted you, I felt like it was the perfect spot for you with Pete Carroll and their high energy coaching staff, and you always smiling, always running around having fun. What was it like there? Like from day one, was Pete what you expected?
Oh man, definitely. It was actually more than I expected. I mean, it's crazy to say, but it's no other place like Seattle. And I know a lot of people does say that, and some people can take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like Pete Carroll is such an amazing coach, high energy, no matter the age. That age don't play a factor when it comes to him. I just remember literally the first weekend he came out with gloves and he was doing one-on-ones and throwing the ball, catching it, and running up and down the field. Like, this man goes get it every single day. Like, he'll make you have more energy. Like, it's no way that you can come with bad energy, and Pete comes with 100% energy every single day, ready to go, ready to attack the day, and ready to just be that force to be reckoned with. And it's just like, it's crazy because when you see him throw the ball, man, it's insane. Like, I remember just being inside the indoor, and he used to throw the football into the basketball goal.
Pete?
And it literally got to be all of 40 yards away. Like, damn. That's things that people don't see, just him warming up and stuff, just throwing the ball 40 yards and letting it inside.
Pete? Are we talking about Pete Carroll right now?
Who does Pete Carroll?
We're talking about Air Max, chew gum.
707 with us, and he'll be our quarterback throwing no lookers. You thought Mahomes or somebody. Pete Carroll been doing.
Wow.
Holy
Wearing cleats. Then you
shit.
wear cleats too,
Damn.
right?
Listen, this changes a lot of things the way we talk about Pete Carroll, especially for you. You need to have a little bit more respect for Pete Carroll after what I just heard. He's 95 years old, slinging the pills still, and having energy. Shaquem, were you ready to be like an inspiration for kids? Because I feel like, obviously, and I don't know what the exacts are and how it happened, but you have one hand, I believe, is I don't know what the scientific term, I don't want to fuck it up. Honestly, I don't want to disrespect you. It's your retirement day. Let's enjoy that. But you were thrusted into a spot of being an inspiration for a lot of people. You make it to the NFL, the highest level, the toughest job on earth. You have success. You do well. Almost like telling the world, like, hey, only you define what you're going to become, not everybody else does. Were you ready for that moment? Did you expect it? And how have you kind of evolved in that role, in that position?
I feel like with time comes growth, and I feel like as I got older, being able to take on like the fans, take on like the people who say I'm motivational and helping them out. It took time, but I feel like now that I'm older and being able, like I said, learn from guys like KJ Wright and Bobby, it put a lot of stuff in perspective that made it easier for me to see it and not me feeling like I'm in a gray area and not knowing how to do or what to do when it comes to motivating people. And really, it's just me living my life and showing that no matter what people say, I can go do this because I want to. So now it's trickled down to a lot of people who've been watching. So yeah, I mean, now that I get older, it's a better understanding of it. It's knowing what I am bringing to the table and what I can do for people. And it's like, now, how can I reach more people? How can I get them to the point where mentally we're all strong together and not just a person where it's like, okay, I get doubted and now it's over for me. Or, man, what other people say, they're right. It's not about what people say. It's about what you feel about yourself and what you're able to do.
Ooh!
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're doing next? Are we getting into motivational speaking? What, you already have an Emmy.
Yeah.
Already have an Emmy. Already have done a lot of things. What are you doing next?
I already started motivational speaking. I just recently came back from Auburn and speaking to the football team. And that's fun because I played Auburn my senior year before I ever left, and I had like 3.5 sacks. So
Hell yeah.
Kind of cool when you go back and speak to the team and stuff like that. And a lot of guys I was there was like freshmen or, when they got there, or redshirt freshmen and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny to see them again and, talk. But, for us, no matter what team you're on, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background, it's a brotherhood. And a lot of times we're so taught to be so strong and, passionate about what we do. And like nothing bothers us. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes it's okay not to be okay. But thing is, having the brothers to support you, because that's what we're here for. That's how you become better. That's how you become a better you, because you'll let go all that stuff that's holding you back and you allow yourself to be better you.
Golly, let's go. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's fucking go, Shaq. Go ahead, Connor, your question?
Yeah, Shaq, is there any thought to go and maybe be a motivational speaker for your brother even? Because I believe he's still playing. Maybe hop in there and, motivate him to be the best player he can be?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because, honestly, before the football and everything, it's something that we always wanted to do growing up. And that's the crazy part. So being able to still motivate my brother, I still get encouraging words from him. And I feel like when it came to football, being together every step of the way, I feel like me not being with him was like a piece of football that was changed for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always passionate because, like, I had something to fight for. You know what I'm saying? I'm proving people wrong. I'm fighting to be there right beside my brother no matter what. And that was our thing. We were a package deal. We literally took a package deal that we made when we was 9 years old and took it straight to the NFL. Like, a lot of people can't say that. That's an enjoyment and a peace of mind that can't nobody take from us.
I concur. Yeah. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
Shaq, we saw you on Good Morning Football, and you obviously have, an Emmy. Is there any consideration of you maybe trying to get into the media world, or is it the motivational speaking? Like, does that kind of chew up most of your time, and it's something where you don't know if you'd really be able to do both at the same time?
I mean, honestly, there's no limit. I feel like it's a start for everything, and I feel like motivational speaking is where I'm starting at now. But the media is going to come with it. We have a movie and stuff coming out. Whoa! It's in the works, man. It's growing fast, and it's coming along even greater. I mean, it's a blessing. Like I said, I've been blessed and fortunate to be in a position where I can be able to showcase stuff that we've done and be able to show the world more and be able to be that face.
Got AJ.
What about this movie? I want to hear more about it. So it's in the works. Are you going to play yourself? I sure hope you don't let anyone else play that role.
Is this Eminem 8 Mile?
It's coming together very well. We've been working on it, working through the script and everything. I don't know if I'm going to be playing my part yet, but it's already been signed that I made. So, yeah, we'll see. I got some good acting skills up.
Who would you want to play it if you don't?
There's an Arsenal.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you real quick? you at least have to get in there and like get beat up by you or something. You know, like we were talking to Jack Carr yesterday. He's the guy who wrote the Terminal List. And he gets killed by Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody should die in your movie. I don't know what you guys are doing. It might be a thriller. I'm not.
Talking about me and my brother, you know, we have a few arguments and a few tussles, so maybe I could throw in a part where it's like a little action part where, you know, I slam my brother off the top of a couch into a table or something. You know, maybe I'll add that in.
Yes!
Please.
How much brainstorming can we do for this?
Table or something, because he took my socks. You never know. We might just add that in the movie.
Look at you. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, that is the time to do it. Last question here for you, Shaq. We can't thank you enough on this big day in your life. Go ahead, Tone.
Shaq, obviously you've mentioned him a few times now, but can you imagine the Super Bowl champions getting Bobby Wagner? Like, they got an all-time, like, 10-time All-Pro, Pro Bowler. Like, what does Bobby Wagner mean to you and probably the Rams now?
Man, Bobby Wagner is it's so crazy because when it comes to Bobby, it's more than just the physical attribute that he brings to a team. I feel like the mindset that he brings and the ability when it comes to being a disciplined player, it taught me something. So I can imagine what it can do, especially being in a place where he came from. Like, you know, being born and raised in LA and being able to be back home, it brings a different attribute to you when it comes to that. You know, when you feel at home, you know, when you're given that Bobby experience, the whole LA team is going to experience that, and it's going to elevate their team. I feel like when I was able to talk to Bobby after he made it, I was so proud of him just to see it. I was happy for him because I know that he's going home, so it's going to bring a new Bobby out for them.
Hey, you lifted the level of this entire show immediately upon arrival. I can't wait to see what you do next. Congrats on an incredible football life. You're the absolute man. I know retirement isn't easy, but I think you're going to crush it. Congrats, man. Enjoy life.
Appreciate you guys for having me today. Thank you.
Hell yeah, Shaquem Griffin.
Yes!
Woo. So I couldn't hear him.
No.
But what he was saying was so good.
It was.
You know
Why? Because it was. I could tell. I knew you were. Was where the phone was down, right? Or I was.
I don't know.
Just
Honestly.
a little.
I heard a tiny bit muffled.
There was times though when it came through and I'd hear it. So we heard a little bit of it, but he's so awesome and positive. It's hard to be like, hey, what? Can you turn your phone there? He's awesome. Though.
Yeah.
He was on Good Morning Football. I did not see him.
Yeah, this morning he was.
How was it? Was it great?
Yeah.
Should he get on the show?
He'll
maybe?
be out there.
He was
he's
in
his own
Stu,
thing.
right?
He was in Stu. I don't know if it was like an audition type thing though. I think he announced his retirement maybe on Good Morning Football.
You're still watching Good Morning Football
Every morning.
Yeah.
Kevin from Texas yesterday called in and said that, or 2 days ago, he wanted
He
to
said it was dead.
You don't think that?
No.
Callers
What I
thoughts
do,
don't
what I do
reflect.
find interesting though is fucking Triggs works 2 days a week now. Guy kind of just shows
Oh, him and
up. when
Greeny.
Yeah, exactly.
What's he doing? I don't know.
Good question.
Maybe Fox News stuff like he was in that
Yeah.
Manti Te'o clip. But also, where the fuck is Greeny?
Yeah.
What the hell's
Yeah,
going
where
on?
is he?
Hey, let's take a moment right now to go, hey, Greeny, where the fuck are you?
Is he with Tom Brady?
He was in Aspen. I said he's taking
Yeah.
pictures in Aspen.
Yeah.
I'm watching Get Up every morning because, A, I enjoy the people behind the scenes at Get Up. Okay, I've got a chance to work there.
What about the people on camera?
I don't really know a lot of the ones that are currently on camera, but I'm sure they're great.
Chris Conti.
He's burying everybody.
Yep.
I don't know.
Conti is on there?
That's not.
Canty. Excuse me. I was doing that for Conti.
Canty's good
last week. It's just-
Canty's good. He's a personality. He knows. He gets
Yeah.
it. He understands it. I've enjoyed. He's just
Did
only
you ever play against him?
monster, right? Big.
You ever see him? You walk out to warm ups and you're like, okay, what is that? Who is that guy?
Yeah, he could say whatever he wants, but he's just been kind of tossed into the rotation here in the last couple of weeks.
Right.
He's kind of in his first couple of days. By the way, it was. It's like, oh, damn. Okay, here we go. I like this added in there. So I'm not going to talk about anybody on camera because I don't know any of those people. But I do know that I watch it because of how, efficient and that show gets through basically everything. And they have a lot of producers that are looking into shit. They have a lot of stuff. And I'm starting to realize, like, oh, that's Greeny. That is the person that I'm watching for.
Yeah.
Hey, Greeny, listen, I know you're in Aspen. You and your wife having a great time. Your family has not had a lot of times with you because you had to 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every single day for 30 years or whatever. But Greeny, it's about football season, okay? Let's get
Come
your
on, Greeny.
fucking ass back in the studio,
We need
Greeny.
ya.
Jeez Louise, dude. Let's get to a break.
Where was Tom Brady?
So,
Bomb.
Ken Jeong
Yeah.
on Masked Singer gave a prediction for, I believe it was a Pelican.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was a Pelican. This hit the internet and said he thought it was Peyton Manning. Everybody booed him. And then he said, or could be the greatest of all time, man, who got fined for not being in training camp. That could be Tom Brady right there. And obviously now the headlines are Masked Singer host hinting at Tom Brady being a Masked Singer. If Tom Brady went to Masked Singer in the middle of fucking training camp, and Fox forced him to do as such, or they would pull his $375 million to be an NFL ambassador and a commentator, I will look at that as one of the most hilarious things to ever happen in the history of football.
That'd be a good rib.
It would be. Fox.
Number one.
What are they, Australian, that family? The what are their names?
Murdochs. Yeah.
Murdochs.
The Murdochs?
Murdoch.
Lachlan's one of the kids?
Yeah, he's basically the guy now, I believe.
L to the OG?
Yeah.
L to the OG.
Yeah.
Rupert.
He came out right in a quarterly earnings call, and said, hey, mate, we think you got problems, so we got fucking Tom Brady. Like, does that whole thing, and they're like, somebody was like, for how much? He's like, 375. Said the whole thing, and then they had to backtrack. Whoa,
Shut your fucking mouth.
No, that didn't happen. That's not real. They had to walk it back. Remember, that is actually how the news of Tom Brady getting the Fox job came out. It was a quarterly earnings call where somebody just spoke out of pocket just to be like, look at how big we are. We got Tom Brady for 10 years or whatever, $375 million. They had to walk it back. That's not real. That's not real. Then it came out, it is real.
It's very real.
If they then followed up and saying, Tom, you said you do the math.
Come on, Tom.
Didn't you?
Put that fucking pelican mask on and get out there. You said you'd do the fucking mask singer.
You want $375 million? I mean, that would be a hilarious thing to just think about how it would have to go. Somebody would have to call Tom's representative, whoever the fuck that is, and say, Masked Singer still, right? Still a thing.
Still
we wanted.
And why was it 11 days?
Everyone you said.
Because you only lasted that long.
Well, that could have been winter. I don't know how long they filmed.
True, he might have won.
For real, though, where was he?
Everybody's saying he was in the Bahamas. Everybody is now just acting like, oh, he's in the Bahamas on a family vacation.
No, I thought they claimed he wasn't vacation.
Who's they?
I don't know. I thought that was out there. Like, no, it wasn't a vacation.
There would have been photos. Even if it was his own private island, there would have been a photo somehow.
I disagree. I personally, who am at a much lower level than Tom Brady, have ended up on an island that nobody would fucking know exists. His travel is the question.
Yeah.
How does he travel without?
He had to leave from some airport in Florida that someone would have seen him.
Maybe he took a submarine.
It's possible.
From his house, you're right. He has a dock, right?
In Tampa, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Who knows where he went? He could have been all over the world in that thing.
He's got headroom in those subs, or you fucking walking around like this?
He probably has a custom one.
Yeah.
Probably got a nuclear sub.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let him borrow it for a little bit.
Well, let's hope that's what it is, and not one
Give
of
it
those
back.
other ones.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
You know.
The one
I don't know of any pedophile subs. I don't know where you're getting.
You do.
You do know. Let's go to.
Because did Epstein have it? He didn't have a sub from anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of the stuff.
SS Fogel.
Well, it's because when you were at his house, it was underwater, AJ. Why would you see it?
Wait, what did Con say?
The SS Fogel.
Yeah.
You really
it was muted. It was muted to me. I heard the very end.
All right, we'll be back in 4 minutes. We'll answer
good,
some
Con.
phone calls and wrap up this Fuel the Beat Wednesday, August 24th. Big thanks to Shaquem Griffin, and congrats on retirement.
He's going to make a ton of money giving speeches.
I think so too. That energy is infectious. I couldn't even really hear him, and I loved it. We're back in 4. This is the Pat McAfee Show. This is a big fucking fire. We are in the back corner of that building that is at the bottom there. That smoke smells. Huh?
Yeah,
The paint from that place, the utilities, the plastic.
All the good stuff, yeah.
That's all just floating right into us.
Yeah.
The guy just came to the building. If the fire moves a little more this way, we have to evacuate.
Yeah, it's got to be like the air conditioning units or something up there.
It's currently under an investigation right now. It did spread to the roof and to the air conditioning heating unit up on the roof.
John Robinson says,
Holy shit.
Whoa.
holy
Or
fuck.
something like.
What was the explosion, you think?
They're doing a bunch of fire hydrants out there, so maybe the top of the lid fell off. I don't know.
I don't.
Dude, it was a loud.
That's not came from right there.
They just put the fire out. Fire's out.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Forget all about that. You're like, I can do that again.
So we just lost power in the middle of one of the greatest promos in the history by pound for pound, #1 fighter in the world, Kamaru Usman. He literally just cut a promo about what it's like to walk to the ring.
Some guys, they stay afraid and they just kind of get smaller and smaller. But as for guys like myself, as you get closer, this alpha, this giant, this lion, you know, this god-like figure per se starts to grow and grow and grow and grow. And then they grease me up, and then I step up there, and then I pray for myself, and then I pray for that guy.
And I got like chills almost while he was talking about it. And right before he was about to kind of put a bow on it, the entire thing just shut down. There's a fire right next door. Let's assume they cut off all the electricity. We're fucked. Probably for the next few hours. That's good. Hey, boys, we handled it. Good show. The ticker's still kicking. Hey, let's type something on the ticker. So just go on your computer. I'll type in the
You want me to email Sirius?
Please do.
Okay.
You want to just tell who's going to see the letter? Yeah, because this part can take a little bit. Call office. Bill. Yeah. This thing just froze. Oh, jeez. This is great.
He said the fire department just cut it. They have no idea how long.
That was really good by Usman, too. All of the power in our office just went out. Unexpected, out of nowhere. This shit is getting real out here. Hope everybody's okay. Obviously, they got the fire contained, which is good news. But we apologize for the show ending abruptly out of nowhere. No injuries, I believe, is what's being reported. The fire was massive. We all had to huff like paint and shit from the fire right next to our studio. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. Cheers. That's the case.
There's no way.
Most guys have tried different ways to last longer, but thinking about MCDC doing up downs doesn't always work.
Oh, yeah.
That's why the folks at Roman, an online men's health company, are changing the game with Roman Swipes, the secret to longer lasting sex.
Damn right.
Roman Swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're effective, easy to use, and fast acting, but don't require a prescription.
Yes.
Go to GetRoman.com/Pat and get $10 off your first order of swipes plus free 2-day shipping. Make sure you click the link in the description to get $10 off swipes so you can start having longer lasting sex. Woo. That's GetRoman.com/Pat.
Welcome back to the show. Big thanks to Roman for making you sling that thing a little longer in the dingling. AJ Hawk to my left, your right. That was Ty Schmidt with the great read. Ty Schmidt, Top Gun, available on Apple.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yesterday, did you watch?
I tried to last night, but I mean, you know.
I thought you were a big fan. Bob Carpenter watched it twice yesterday. Stayed home from work in PJs.
Smart. Fair. Bob Carpenter doesn't have a newborn at home, I believe. I tried to, but you know, when in the cockpit you get loud like that, it's just way too loud. I just don't have the time or the space really where I can really boost up the volume and get in the cockpit with TC. I'll do it tonight.
I'm worried. What if I hate the movie because I'm not watching it in IMAX?
You won't.
No, there's no.
You won't.
You'll always remember what it looks
Don't
like.
watch it again.
There's also an hour and 20 minutes of behind the scenes stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So,
is there commentary on it?
He's gonna make another $1 billion off of
you
this.
tell me. I think there is. TC doesn't.
I used to love DVD commentary back in the day.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I don't know what that is, but I do know that when during the credits, when Jackie Chan would show us him fucking up trying to run up the wall, it was my favorite part of every single Rush Hour.
Sweet.
We just try to call Bobby Carpenter to see how many times he has watched it since it is available at home now instead of him having to go to a movie theater and watch it 5 times with his family. AJ Hawk, I will certainly watch it again, mostly because I've hit the bottom of the well. Now, football's coming at the right time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of dead time here, though.
Oh, you mean nothing to watch right now, you're saying?
Yeah, I've hit the bottom of the well. I've watched everything. Super pumped. Tried Severance.
I was just going to say running back on Severance.
I've done that one.
Nah, you won't watch Severance.
You're right. Yeah, I tried a couple different times. It was just.
What about the bear?
I mean,
it's very slow and different.
How much
but
can you just?
I
be
think
like
very
this?
good, but
You liked it? Was it worth it?
yeah, I like it.
It's very good, but yeah,
I
don't
had no
think.
expectations. I had never heard of it when I watched it. I turned on, I'm like, what is this? This is weird, and that just kept me intrigued throughout.
Watch The Old Man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Heard that's really good.
All right, I'll watch you, old man. What's that on?
Jeff Bridges. That's on FX.
Hulu.
Paramount.
Hulu.
He has the little air gun thing.
No, that's No Country for Old Men.
Oh, okay.
Also
This
good.
is different. This is one, not a bunch of olds.
Just one
Right.
old man.
Okay, got it. That thing was great. A real game changer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just
What is that?
Cattle thing.
guy had that. Yeah,
Country
that,
for Old Men.
that air gun.
Oh, I need to rewatch that. That was good.
I only saw 2 scenes, and he used them in both.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck, that's a great weapon, if I had to guess. And then I went and saw Dane Cook live, and Dane Cook told an entire story about how he was going to kill somebody with an ice thing.
Icicle?
An icicle. And he said he's planned the perfect murder. That's how he started his stand-up. And I'm like, oh, Dane wants to kill somebody. It sounds
Was this
like.
recent?
Years ago.
Yeah, Dane's not doing stand-up.
Years ago. It was
Yeah, he
just-
is. He's out there doing stand-up. He just got engaged.
It was an arena. Well, I
not
heard
gonna be
about
doing
that too.
stand-up.
They,
Interesting.
I heard about the
He
engagement.
had a crazy. His brother stole all his money, like a crazy story.
Yeah, so I think that I saw him immediately after that happened, but before the public knew about it, because I think he was talking about said brother for a large portion of said set.
That would make sense.
And because we were this is in Pittsburgh in the fucking arena. That was back when Dane Cook was doing
Oh,
goddamn
yeah.
arenas. And I went in there with Angelo. Me and Angelo went, and somebody else, and we had pretty good seats at the time. We were surrounded by Dane Cook enthusiasts, though. Like, everything. Everything he was, the cookers, whatever they are. Everything he said, they were laughing at. And I was a Dane Cook fan. Coops, got to have your Coops. I was a big Dane Cook fan. And I was listening to it. I'm like, hey, this guy's in a dark spot right now.
Yeah.
He talked about for 15 minutes how he was going to murder somebody. And although it was funny, there was jokes in there. That was a real plan he had. The icicle murder, stabs it, melts it, see ya, he's out and off and running, did something else. And I'm like, oh, this guy wants to really kill somebody. But then in my head, I'm like, that's a great way to murder somebody if you were to murder somebody. Just like in No Country for Old Men. The only reason why I remember that is because I'm like, God damn, that seems to be a very efficient way to kill somebody right there. And let's keep our eyes peeled for any of these little fucking gas tank looking things if any creepy fucks come walking around.
Yeah, bad that we just gave Bill 2 more, ways to kill somebody.
He
I
knew
don't know
about that
why we should have.
Bill McComas has been hacking down icicles at his house for years.
Well, Dane was roaming around with Kevin Costner killing people.
Yeah,
10, 15 years
Mr.
ago.
Brooks.
Yeah, that was one of the only movies that was in a hotel, so I have seen that movie. That's Dane's
Mr. Brooks.
Yeah, Dane's good in that one.
Very good. That's a great movie.
He's good in all his movies. Good Luck, Chuck. Employee of the Month. Phenomenal films.
Classic.
He was a talent, once in a generation.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
We have breaking news. Holy fuck.
No way it's happening.
This is a big deal.
Yeah. Hold your ear like that.
Well, that's where the breaking news is coming.
I know.
Ben Roethlisberger has been spotted at Pittsburgh Steelers practice.
Whoa. Wow.
Brooke Pryor, ESPN's Pittsburgh Steelers beat reporter. Ben Roethlisberger is out at practice today. First time I've seen him at the South Side or at a training camp practice. Okay, there's no reason to do what you just did right there.
Looks fucking
That
good.
was Zito did
Who
that.
did that, Z?
Zito did that on purpose.
Wait, what do you guys mean?
Well,
Is this a painting or is this a picture?
I think it's an AI generated image.
Yeah, I mean, there's much better pictures out there.
okay, zoom down or roll down. I'm sorry.
He's got a sports bra on.
I don't know. I think it's just bad. He was in the middle of turning probably. He's having a good time. He's laughing.
exhaling.
His beard looks incredible. He's a retired football player who just, wants to hear the pads crash again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wants to smell the grass a little bit. Wants to hear the sounds and sights of practice. That's what Ben Roethlisberger's doing. He's been retired for a few months now. He's got to pass this year. He's never coming back. He loves Kenny Pickett. Talk to Kenny Pickett. He just wants to see how the boys are practicing.
Are we sure he wasn't going to tell Tomlin, like, I hate to do it, but I'm going to Cleveland?
You think he was personally delivering the news?
Yeah.
He was laughing there. You think the Steelers would be happy about that? Or had he not told the news yet? Can you put that back up there? Had he not told everybody there that he was going to play for the Cleveland Browns?
This might have been right when he showed up, and then he was like, "Hey, Chase." Oh.
I don't think he's telling. Look, go back.
You know,
he looks good right there.
He does.
I'm gonna rip your fucking heart out.
No. Yeah, he looks happy. He's not saying that, but let's look at the body. He looks like he's in great shape right now.
Yeah. Great shape, huh?
Give him some shoulder pads.
Oh, you're one to talk.
Pryor's photo.
What's that?
Not doing justice.
Yeah, Brooke Pryor certainly got him at an angle, but she was probably the first one to report it. Ben looks good. He looks happy. He's back at Steelers practice. Hasn't missed a training camp for 18 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's probably pretty natural for this time of year for him to want to maybe see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I enjoy watching practice. Don't you, AJ, at this stage of life?
Absolutely, yeah. I watch it much differently than before. I used to, when I was in the practice, I'd be like, what are these idiots doing watching? Why would you want to watch this? But now I'm one of them.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Me too. We were the other day, and I was enjoying the fuck out of it. The Detroit Lions had their punt period going on, and I just walked right behind the punter. Probably not supposed to be there. I mean, hindsight looking back, probably not. Supposed to just be walking through the practice. But I was standing there during a commercial break watching Jack Fox murder footballs, who I thought about a lot last night, by the way, when I was like, would I want to go back and kick balls? And I just saw Jack Fox kicking balls. I don't know. It's a young man's game. It's a young man's game. I thought about him, but I was watching him do his drills, and then I looked to the side and saw all the people that were at practice, and it was a funny thing to be in that moment where it was like, I think I understand why they're all here. Like, this is a piece of football that you don't appreciate or respect whenever you're in it, I think. You know, AJ?
It seems boring. I'd always be like, man, this has got to be so boring. You're watching our individual period or whatever. I understand getting excited to watch team period when you get to see guys hit and everything. But, yeah, I guess when you're living it in the moment, like, man, why don't you guys go do something fun?
I think
that is fun.
I have a much bigger appreciation. Not that I didn't when I was in the league. But I have a much bigger appreciation for the league and for the game now that I'm outside of it. I was thinking about this the other day while I was watching soccer. My team, Leeds United. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know about that.
Of course.
They just beat the dog shit out of Chelsea.
Yes, they do.
Hey, sorry about it, Chelsea. Welcome to our home here, Leeds.
Sorry about it.
It's always been your squad, right?
Always. Since the beginning. Look, everybody knows that. Look, I even tweeted it. Leeds have been my team forever.
Yeah.
And
was that you or Goomp?
No, Gun posts the clips. The tweets are from me, pal.
Yeah.
All right, just want but Leeds has been my team forever.
Yeah, as long as I've known you.
I've been talking. They got an American coach, okay, former MLS guy.
Dog.
They got a bunch of Americans, and this guy out in New Jersey, 21 years old, fucking pickpocketed the goddamn Chelsea goalkeeper. Said, give me that ball. That ball's mine. You ever heard of hard work? I'm from America. I'm chasing this fucker down. Pickpockets him. No look goal. Could have missed the net. Yeah. No look goal. Little swagger. How you doing? Everybody celebrates. American flags donned around the boys after a win in the Premier League. I watched that. I'm like, fucking right. I'm like so excited about this because for a long time, Americans have been trying to get the sport of soccer to a level that is high. And we've always been judged overseas, always been judged. And now we got our guys in there, coaching, playing, scoring, dealing. Get prolific on that squad.
Sure. Yeah.
And let's just turn that lead squad into the team from America. Put them on NBC on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. or whatever, or Sunday mornings, whatever you want to put them on. And I will watch every week. And while I was watching, I thought to myself, I should have done this when I was playing soccer. I should have watched soccer. I never watched soccer in my life, ever. I actually thought to myself, like, I feel like my dad and I should have watched soccer at some point. like the actual, like the good soccer. I was a solid soccer player. A lot more schools looking at me for soccer than for football. Did a lot of things, accomplished a lot of things. Nowhere near the level of some people, obviously, out there. But I was a pretty good soccer player. Never watched a soccer game in my life. Never. I went to a Columbus Crew game with my dad. That was fun. Went to a United States-Portugal game where they Portugal, like I heard the whole thing. I watched that whenever the Olympics or the World Cup was taking place. But I never watched like soccer on a regular basis. Now that I'm older, I'm watching. I fucking loved it. I enjoyed watching it. Now, honestly, we need a little bit more flair.
Sure.
We need a little bit
some more goals.
Yeah, a little bit more celebratory
At least
moments.
shots on goal.
Yeah, we need a little bit more of that. But I think I appreciate soccer much more now than when I was fucking playing it at a very high level. Like, and I immediately thought to myself, like, God damn, if I would have seen other people do stuff, I probably would have tried it.
Correct.
Probably would have made me better. but I never did. I didn't have the attention span to sit there and watch 1-0 or 1-1. It's like I ain't got the time. But now I'll sit and watch. The NFL is the same thing. I think I have a much greater appreciation for it now than when I was in there. And that came into conversation last night while I was thinking to myself, like, I feel like going in there, I'd have a much different mindset as opposed to like, hey, this is work. I'm coming here to do this. It's like, hey, the NFL is a massive entertainment and outlet for people around the world. What you're doing isn't just like, it is a game. It is a sport. It is a business. You are making money. But the people that don't give a fuck about the business side, the people that don't really know the ins and outs, they are just hoping to escape for a little bit. And this is, I think I'm appreciating and respecting that more now than ever. Even though I grew up in Pittsburgh where life was dependent upon how the Steelers did, I think just feeling and experiencing the NFL from this seat has changed it immensely from when I was a player.
Yeah, and like you just said about Pittsburgh, like there's so many fan bases where your mood for the entire week is set strictly on a 3 to 4 hour game on Monday, Sunday, or Thursday. So it is that, and that's the difference between other sports too. Whereas like basketball, even hockey, it's like, hey, well, you lose on Monday, you're playing again either the next night or on Wednesday. Like when there's only 17 of these games you get to watch, and that's all you look forward to the entire year, it just means so much more for fans. And obviously once you're not around it as much, like you and AJ, when you go back and see it, it's like, oh damn, I forgot how awesome like this environment is.
Every part of it, I think I just appreciate more of it. I think AJ, like getting to watch film right now would be sweet.
Yeah,
like if I had to watch film, it'd be, oh, look at this fucking guy.
I've thought about that. Like I would absolutely want to sit in on like a D coordinator's meeting and watch practice with the team or watch him install. And thinking, if I would have told myself that 10 years ago, I would have punched myself square in the face. Like, no,
AJ,
don't do it.
AJ, you fucking idiot. Why? What happened to you? Did you take ayahuasca, AJ? Why are you?
I'm not saying I want to do that every day, but I definitely would like to see just how the things are changing. Everything, it changes so fast. I want to see what the terminology is like and how the guys react.
And this is growing older. That's what they call this, right? I mean, that's what this is.
Yeah, it's got to be. I wouldn't want to have to be forced there like, hey, you're here, you're with us all day and you can't leave. I hate if I'm at anything and I don't know the end time or I don't control the end time. I struggle in those situations. So if I could kind of freelance, then I could do it.
So that was like the COVID era. I don't love going out and about. I'd much rather be a homebody. But the opportunity was there to go do something. What you're saying is, you're telling me there's I can't leave. I have to watch for this amount of time. Just that mental check that you had whenever you were younger, different than it is now. You're 100% right, AJ. And that's because we're mature.
Super mature.
Fucking right.
Yeah, obviously.
You ain't. I don't know when you're going to crack into your maturity, but it is not happened now or in this previous couple of years.
I've been mature for years at this point. It's just a different level of maturity.
Who started mature? You think
Target shoppers?
Oh, the Target shoppers. Because they are the most mature.
That's right.
Well,
Still funny when people say that.
Mature?
No, Target.
What are you talking about?
They'll say, "Oh, I'm going to Target," and act like no one's ever heard that. Oh my god!
I think for some people though, that is the name.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the name for me.
That's my problem. That's my problem. Yeah. That's my problem. Mary Kay, like that in French is cabot.
Yeah,
that is clearly what
Mary Kay Cabot.
Bingo.
Yeah, but if there's a half a second pause in between there too, you're saying it wrong as well.
Well, I think I said Kay, like okay, and then I said Mary. And then she said, well, it's Mary Kay. We had a moment. It was interesting. Mary.
Was she upset?
No. Mary Kay doesn't get upset. She's a dog. Mary Kay's been in the NFL game a long time. She was awesome. Mary Kay
pops up everywhere, man. Like, she gets the scoops.
Crushes.
Legit.
She had the bacon scoop she talked about today.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said, I said in October that, look for. And then Baker said, clickbait to me. That was an interesting day.
That was a fun day.
Yeah, she does everything. She is what you know Ohio better. Is it just Cleveland area, or does Mary Kay break down everything in Ohio?
I think she's mainly like strictly Cleveland, but I don't know if she does any national stuff. I don't think she's doing like Bengals.
So she's full-time Browns all the time?
I think so, yeah.
She from Cleveland?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
She's fucking good at what she does. And
she's been around for a while.
She breaks everything. Like, if it's coming out of Cleveland, Mary Kay.
She is dialed in to Cleveland. Imagine how tough that's got to be, too, with how the front office and the coaching staff has changed a billion times.
Yeah, there's a lot of turnover. There's only one constant. That's fucking Mary Kay Cabot.
Yes.
Let's go to the phones.
Had it from the beginning.
Let's go to Adam in South Dakota on the 5 Hour Energy phone line. What's going on, Adam in South Dakota? Go big, go blue. Go Jacks.
How we doing? Keeping it moving.
Respect.
Just making some pancakes in the morning.
What?
Calling it. Yeah. Pancakes.
Yeah.
Little vitamins, little pancakes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's how we do it in South Dakota.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you for calling in, man. Happy to be a part of your breakfast here. It's 11:43, I believe, where you are, 12:43. But is it breakfast all day, every day? I love a good dinner breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Waffle
absolutely.
House.
Yeah.
Well, I stay up pretty late out here. I'm a poker dealer up in Deadwood, so I'm up.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, how good of a dealer are you?
Most
You get bored? Do you talk? Are you quiet? Do you have any personality at the table?
I got a little personality up here. We got a lot of tourists and whatnot, so we be talking to them and saying, "Where are you from?" And it's always, "Oh, I'm from North Dakota. I'm from Nebraska." It's never too far, but sometimes it's a little interesting. Like last week, I dealt to a MLS ref, which was kind of cool because I lived in Portland for 5 years and was following some Timbers stuff. But
nice, good.
I like to keep the game rolling because you see people getting annoyed if I just start chattering.
Yeah, I can understand
But,
that. I think what you should do is, and this is obviously unsolicited advice, you're welcome. You have lived this life for so long.
I'll take it.
There's no reason.
I'll take it from Mr. Pat McAfee.
No, listen, I'm a fucking idiot. But if I were you and I was forced to have small talk with people, I would have loaded lines about Nebraska. Somebody comes from Nebraska, boom, one-liner about Nebraska. They get a good laugh, good positive experience, and now you're just at it, baby. And then you don't even have to talk to them any longer.
Nope.
So if it's North Dakota, one line about, oh, Dakota Marker come home this year. All right, fuck up, bam, bang, boom, boom. Then you don't have to think about it then. You know what I mean, Adam? And it's quick. It's positive, it's quick, it's in and out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's why I'm making breakfast so damn late. It's about noon. But I wanted to call in a couple weeks ago when y'all were talking about lightning strikes.
It's still doing stuff.
Oh, yeah. Out here in the Midwest, we got some lightning strikes going on. And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up one of my favorite
Midwest?
Chargers who actually went to South Dakota State University named Doug Miller.
Dougie.
Dougie
of course. Dougie Mills.
Yeah, linebacker for the Super Bowl team back in the 90s. He was hiking in the Colorado Rockies when he got struck by lightning. Not once, but twice. And that's why I became a Chargers fan out here in South Dakota. Nowhere close to the ocean, but yeah, same, like literally, literally like right after each other.
Sounds like a favorite.
It was 1 second, my timer's going off. Are you guys still there?
How did it affect them?
All right, Adam had a rough ending there, but
Yeah,
it was
my
a good
God.
conversation. So you want to talk about lightning from a few weeks ago? I did a walkthrough at the Thunderdome this morning.
Ooh.
It was supposed to be like all right, never mind.
Almost like a final unveiling, right?
Yeah.
This has been an interesting process. I'm happy I haven't been hands-on with it all. I could see how people lose their mind dealing in this world.
Tough time to build anything.
I'd say, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and by the way,
or order anything.
Staffing's an issue everywhere, right? Every business has a staffing issue right now.
Absolutely.
Nobody really wants to work, right? Not nobody. That is broad brush painting. Not as many people pre-COVID are working, as you get it.
Yes.
There's not a lot of people choosing work right now because, it's been, how do you not fall into a habit if you're not working for 2 years and you're being told not to work and you're getting money for it and your life has become this? What's 21 days to start a habit or 20 days to start a habit? I forget what it is. I couldn't even imagine what 2 years is for some people. I don't know how they're ever going to recover jobs-wise for some of these like blue-collar manual labor jobs, honestly. And construction's one of them. So it's nobody's fault, but like it's just the reality that we're in currently. So trying to build something at this time, we've offered we got jobs now out to like, I think it's up over 70 people we've employed with the building of the Thunderdome.
A lot of them.
Different companies and different people having jobs. And like, that's cool. Like, I'm very fucking pumped about that and proud of that we have that many people working and operating. But a lot of people entering this space that are new, that want to work, probably have never really done construction or blue collar jobs before, are now doing construction jobs. And this might be literally their first time on the job. So there's a lot of things that, like structurally that is not even to code or legal, so have to rebuild it. You know what I mean? So there's been a lot of that, and I appreciate everybody's hard fucking work in that. But we're getting to it. We're getting close, I think. We're getting close.
Let's go.
There's still a lot of, but we're close, AJ, to the
we go.
Thunderdome. But I think staffing is a real problem these days. I honestly believe.
Yeah.
But the guy that was working there was the electrical engineer, the person who like sets up where all the power outlets and plugs are and everything like that. Thermostat is his job. He has to set up how we get the whole thing because we get this big fucking wide open space. Good. His other job, like a lightning wrangler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he actually told me. So I never met this guy.
Franklin?
He's been doing great work. He's been doing great work over there. I think, Tim and CFO Phil had met him. This morning I walk in for the thing, and everybody's really nice. It's good to see everybody early morning. And he goes, I just got done with Friday's episode or whatever. I was like, oh, man, I appreciate you listening. He goes, I always listen. It takes me like a few days to listen to one episode, so I'm normally way behind. But you guys were talking about lightning. He said, I actually know you should have called me. And I was like, well, I didn't. He said there is something that you can put that can control whether or not lightning comes. There is some sort of.
You got to put it on your building. I have it on the house. You can put like lightning rods to help. If it strikes, it'll hit the rod and not your house.
Yeah, there's something else
It's like
too.
a whole thing.
Yeah, it was like a net. He said something. I'm like, well, why aren't we putting these around fucking stadiums? Like
Put at the highest point of your place, like wherever you could put like a rod and then they run it through wires. Yeah, we have it here because it's supposed to help your house not get struck.
Okay.
Why didn't you bring any of this up when we were talking?
Why don't we put that? Why don't we?
You should put that on the Thunderdome.
Now you were oddly quiet, just like the Nick Cage head.
Yeah.
That we had Aaron Rodgers
We're
thing.
talking about humans getting struck, not buildings.
we started talking about this because a game got fucking delayed, and I said, can somebody not wrangle this lightning so we don't have to delay games? Like, what are we even doing?
Yeah, I know a guy. The guy who did it for my house, his son was a punter at Ohio University. Just happened to be like weird universe.
Shout out, go
situation.
Bobcats! The great Halloween party there, from what I've been told. Who knows if they're still doing it? I assume it's great. But how come we don't just put those up around stadiums then if we have the ability to control where lightning is so we don't have to delay fucking 2.5 hours for, 100 people being hit a year or whatever?
Yeah.
Can we not get this shit under control? And don't we need
Oh,
power?
you mean you can put this up over a stadium and we can play through lightning?
Hell
Is
yeah.
that what you're saying? I don't see that happening.
No, I think wrangling lightning. So, like you said, with a lightning rod, but he didn't say lightning rod. We have
I don't know
a
what
friend
it's
that
called
deals
exactly,
lightning
but
rods.
Conductor.
Yeah, it's like it'll go to that instead of your house first because it's the highest point. It's metal, and then it runs it through whatever the cable. I don't. Obviously, people that actually know
What are
what
we
they're
doing
talking
lightning
about are probably
delays
freaking out.
So you could put it like towers around a stadium.
Yeah,
it sounds
away
like.
from the stadium.
Yeah, and then they will strike there instead of the
I
stadium.
mean, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think
And are we
a lot of
catching-
metal in a stadium too.
Yeah, but I thought this was like a lightning tractor.
Yeah, this.
Are you trying to say though they're gonna be able to play games if they have this around a stadium?
I'm not saying it. I'm saying this should be fucking thought
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Because
It
we,
should, yeah.
we are in a situation where energy is a problem, right?
Yeah.
Pretty massive conversation around energy right now. Deals are being done by people that hate each other and everything like that. How come we can't figure out how to wrangle this fucking lightning? And then
Gotcha.
once we can do that, by the way, let's keep it the fuck away from stadiums so that let's go ahead and make lightning our friend as opposed to.
You can wrangle it and use it as good positive energy for us.
clean energy.
That and fucking
Great
not
idea.
delay games. So I think it's a win-win here. Not only do the sports people like us care, like, all right, our games aren't fucking delayed anymore. We don't have to stay up till 1:30 a.m. to watch this shitbag to see what we actually bet on because there was some storm that just happened upon Tampa Bay or whatever. And then all the nerds should like it too, right?
Yeah.
Because we're finding new, efficient, clean energy that's already out there.
Bingo.
And now we're kind of coming in. This is where sports and the nerds can come together, I think. Let's keep lightning away from stadiums and into a power outlet.
Yeah, once we harness the energy, then we can control it.
Bingo!
I mean, what's so hard about
Put
that?
Elon. Elon was the only guy that could probably go after that.
Wow.
Elon's got stuff going
The guy I talked to this morning seemed to have it under control.
Let's bring him on. Call him up.
I will.
on. Might have figured it out.
He's got a lot to do at the Thunderdome right now. Okay, that guy's got a lot on his plate. But as soon as he's done with it, let's get him looking into some lightning. The phone thing just crashed.
No.
We're back. Let's go to Hayden in Montana. Hayden, you ever go play cards in South Dakota, Deadwood?
Hell no. Nobody goes to South Dakota for a goddamn thing. Mainly people in Nebraska.
Pancakes. I heard their pancakes are good. Go big, go blue, go Jacks. What do you want to talk about, Hayden?
I want to take you back to a time circa 2015, quarter score and 2 years ago. back on the island of Okinawa, Japan. You familiar with that place at all?
Oh yeah, I've been there.
That's where Mr. Miyagi was from.
Yeah.
It's
I know you have, Pat. You're a goddamn patriot, and I appreciate it.
Oh,
hey,
thank you. Hayden.
You by any chance remember some jerk showing up with a Patriots shirt to that event and Chuck Pagano drawing an X on it?
Yeah, I do.
What?
Yeah, well, I'm that jerk.
Fuck off! Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Fuck off, Hayden.
Beast.
So that was a thank you for your service, Hayden. And by the way, serving in Japan is, I don't know if you have family or not. That's a complete different operating world. So not only is everybody that's serving, and obviously I think it's like always in a code red over there. Hayden, am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're absolutely right. I like the theme you got going on here. You had Coach Pagano, you had Jack Carr on yesterday. You know, I'm feeling pretty included right now. So,
Hayden, thank you for your service. But going over there, they're like, yeah, we're always on pretty high alert. There's always tension over here. And I'm like, why am I here? Yeah, I am not tough enough to answer anything, but I'm going to have a good time. Like, let's do that. And I learned a lot. The Okinawa trip was basically, Okinawa is like the bottom island, I think, of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Japan's a bunch of islands. Okinawa was the bottom, and that has become like our military. But there are still locals that live there and natives that live there. And I was told, like, don't go. We're not necessarily like good buds, I guess. We wrote their constitution, I think. Japan doesn't necessarily love Americans, from what I've been told.
No.
From what I've been told and what I...
With good reason.
Traveling over there. Mm-hmm. And also the map, like the bottom island is ours. We have a military thing. I do believe Russia has the top island, and it's not on our map of Japan. Like, and on Russia's map of Japan, Okinawa's not on that map. Like, it's an interesting game happening over there. But everybody that goes over there, like, so appreciative. It is high anxiety, high stress. Things could pop off at any fucking moment with numerous people. And it's impossible to understand what anybody is saying at any time. And it's just a completely different world. So I guess whenever USO tours go over there, and when we went over there, we're just like a piece of America. So it's like this guy, not a Colts fan at all, probably hated the Colts, but it was like a piece of America almost. It was a really cool feeling just to talk to like fucking everybody, and you could see like a sense of relief just being like, oh, this feels like home almost. And then as soon as we leave, they're right back into the high anxiety, the whole moment of living in a completely opposite world. It was pretty eye-opening, I'd say. Pretty eye-opening, and nothing but gratitude for Hayden and everybody else that has served.
Did you ask them for a gun once you heard it was going to be a little worrisome?
So we were supposed to go to the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, and it got canceled from the trip because of
tension.
And I was like, that's pretty close. I'm looking at a map.
They put a vest on you? They put a vest on you and throw you on a chopper?
No, that would have been
Michael Cole.
They didn't want you downrange.
Yeah, they took one look at me and said, that son of a bitch not supposed to be downrange. Chris Mad Dog Russo, who called Aaron Rodgers Jared Goff. He should be taken serious, is next.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He went on a rant.
What context?
He went on a rant about how Aaron doesn't make people better and lift up his teammates or anything.
Oh, okay.
Classic dog.
It was good. It was good.
Mixing it up.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable to listen to. I'm like, all right.
Was it really unbelievable, though?
Guy's got a fucking channel named after him, and I'm hearing him talk about the biggest sport in the world. And I'm like, all right, this guy.
It's unbelievable hearing that stuff.
This guy knows his stuff.
Well, if we know anything about that, I assume it's, hey, Stephen A., you always call Aaron a bad man. Said, dog, you got to go the other way. Say, call him Jared Goff. Okay.
You're saying.
That's the business.
You're saying there's a little.
Exactly. Nope, sorry, you got to argue.
Wow.
They can't be on the same page because how would Stephen A. keep score?
Pat, who brought that? Who started that whole debate culture? I know one of the big execs did.
Jamie Horowitz.
That's right.
With cold pizza. No, first take.
First take, but cold pizza was the show before that. It was Skip's first show, I think.
Yeah, it changed absolutely everything because they hit gold. I mean, not saying it's talent potentially. It has to be the concept.
You think?
Another thing, these fucking you know, like
now the concept's pretty good.
Well, just the concept. It's not the people that are doing it. It is the concept for sure. That is exactly
That's
what
why you tune in. You tune in for the concepts, not the people.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly's system.
You relate to it.
And I would like to let everybody know that's part of that. The incredibly talented Skip, Steven, and Horowitz, all very smart and good at what they do professionally. Like, legit. They know what they're doing. They do the thing. They fucked it all up. Because everybody thought they were, you know, hey, I'm the next person who's going to yell about
What do you mean? You mean there's too much? There's too many shows doing that?
Well, I think a lot of people saw that as an avenue to make it. Like, I'm just going to be a dumbass who says things that make no sense. It's going to get a lot of views. Those views aren't going to be good views or be able to sell those views, but they're still views. So, like, I think it kind of spiraled into that, you know? And that changed the entire, like, daily.
Those are the guys getting that astronomical money, too. Those are the only people getting those huge contracts, really, at the networks.
Yes, exactly. So it's almost encouraged.
Yeah.
Because of the concept's success at the beginning. And then now it's just a whole generation who's like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. And it's like, oh, come on. Can we not just yell about it? Can we not just say something's really fucking good? Like, isn't the league filled with awesome stuff and good stuff and great plays? And I understand that this person could maybe be the best. But you ain't better than him. Like, you don't have to bury somebody else to put somebody else over. It's just, there's some people that are incredible at it. Stephen A is one of them. Skip is another. Shannon Sharp is a fucking guy. I love listening to him talk. I mean, Dan Orlovsky is incredible at saying things nobody else agrees with him.
Sure.
And
believe him.
And standing in the pocket. He got called out by Stephen A this morning when he wasn't even on the fucking show. And I assume Mad Dog has made a career out of it too, so he can do his thing. But everybody thinks that they can just saw people down and be like, oh, this is journalism.
It's not personal.
It's fodder. It's journalism. Okay.
But on the other side, there's like guys like Acho who are kind of balancing it out. Like he's trying to, I mean, I saw this morning, I think he tweeted out like it was Orlovsky and someone else and basically saying like,
Ryan Clark,
I'm proud of you for doing so-and-so and, you know.
And Stephen A. Actually,
I don't remember what it is. Yeah, Stephen A. was part of it. Yeah.
Writing a book, Orlovsky calling games, and Ryan Clark diving into the podcast.
Yeah, and some guy right underneath it was like, yes, we need more of this. Thank you. And Acho's a good guy, so he is the guy to kind of do that.
Sweet.
You're talking about a tweet Acho sent supporting his.
Yeah, you can probably find it. It was
this morning.
Made me feel pretty good when I saw it.
I agree.
Thank you for bringing attention to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I print tweets out and I look at them before I go to bed because it makes me feel better.
Why don't you start looking at them before you come on the show?
And then I
Tape
put
on your mirror.
And then I put them underneath my pillow because I think that will transfer through the pillow into my brain during night.
Osmosis.
And I actually already printed out this tweet for tonight, so it's
smart.
Well, I want to let you know whatever you've been doing hasn't been working. You've been more toxic than ever.
That's not true.
Yep, it is. I actually got some tweets yesterday saying, guy in a cowboy hat needs tone.
He needs to
down.
stop it.
Guess who didn't see those tweets? Me.
Why? Because you muted all those people. We are the worst. We're part of the problem, too. Let's not get crazy. I'll go off on some dumb shit every once in a while.
I mean, you're on a mic enough, you would assume, but yes.
Dude.
Got a pretty good track record.
How much am... Now, obviously, all of us are in this, but there's too much of me out there right now. That fucking...
Where's SmackDown?
This week?
Mm-hmm.
Detroit Rock City. Yeah, that's right.
Is Elias coming?
Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. I don't know if Elias will be there. Elias from Pittsburgh, obviously a city of grit, so he wouldn't mind going in Detroit. I know there's some people probably on the roster that say I will not work in shows in Detroit, and I'm not one of them. I'm just telling you, I think there are some people that do that.
Should get MCDC in there.
Boom, MCDC and the fucking Scottish psychopath in the main event.
Imagine MCDC coming out of the crowd. Do you want me on?
With Angela.
I want you. That place would go bananas.
Oh.
If he just interrupted, walked in, speared
Rips his
somebody.
shirt off.
Come on, Dan.
MCDC, you trying to win games or what?
Come on.
Get in the ring.
Come spear somebody.
You said it. Hey, 3 toes and half an ass cheek. That's the situation.
Josh Adams. Got to have at least 2 ass cheeks for me to beat him up. That guy killed it.
He did.
Not easy to go into an NFL room like that.
I was nervous for him. When I saw him announce him and I saw him come up, I'm like, oh, no, this is a very, very difficult room he's in. And he did good.
I think it's called tact. I don't know if that's the right word. I think it's called tact in multiple definitions. But when you get uncomfortable for somebody else, like...
it makes your face warm.
Embarrassed for somebody else. Yeah, I actually get the chill. Like... I get very uncomfortable when I see somebody about to embarrass the fuck out of themselves. Like I get real, like my whole body hates it. It's almost like I don't like it at all. When I saw him walk up and he said, "Hey, my name's Josh Adams," I'm like, "Oh, this guy's dead. This guy is fucking dead." And then he started going, and I'm like, "Oh, this guy's got swagger. This guy's got some moxie." And then he started going. I'm like, why is this guy not famous? This guy needs to be. He's an actual funny. That room is filled with hillbillies, rednecks, gangsters, in fucking MCDC and crew are in there. And he was able to turn everybody. I mean, and yuppies are in there as well.
It's the impossible room. It's so tough.
That's why I've always been very comfortable. Very comfortable. When I did the stand-up thing for the first time, everybody was like, you nervous to go out there? It's like, no. I've talked to people that have, zero education from the hills of West Virginia, and I've talked to dudes that have been a part of fucking murders from other places, and they seem to all have pretty good reaction to when I speak. So if these people who paid a ticket to be here are tougher than them, all right, good on them, I guess. So I've always felt very comfortable because of the NFL locker room. I think a lot of players who are good in NFL locker rooms are starting to learn, I can get into media and tell my story and do stuff, and I should feel confident and comfortable because I've got to experience things that nobody else has. I've gotten to experience people that nobody else really has if they've gotten outside of their bubble. So going in there as an outsider, not being an NFL guy, and crushing, I think that was worthy of a fucking way to go. Because we've seen, AJ, we have seen.
They wouldn't have shown it, would they, if he bombed?
No way.
Good.
It
would have been fun to see, though, if he bombed hard.
What do you guys think about juggling?
That was a slow start.
Yeah, but he finished out. That was good.
He won him over on the other side. We've seen people, though, give speeches for reasons, and then they try to make a joke, like they're a motivational speaker or a unifier or something, and in there they try to pop a joke in the middle of it, and it just
falls flat.
And then the rest of their presentation.
Dead from there.
It is. And you got a lot of confident guys who aren't scared to be like, boo! They'll boo a motherfucker out of the room.
Don't tell them. Do not tell the room, hey, guys, don't worry. We'll be out of here in 45 minutes to an hour. Don't ever say that. Don't ever give them an end time. Don't ever tell them how long you're there because we were hoping it was 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this quick. Even if you're not, lead off. Exactly. I'm going to keep this quick because nobody wants to be in there. But I've seen dudes get fucking booed out of rooms. And these guys.
Yeah, we clapped off the stage. Yeah, it happens.
Guys that charge like $50,000 to speak at places. Guys that are being hired by the NFL to come into a team meeting room and give some sort of speech. And they say, all right, way to go.
Good speech.
So halfway done with their thing.
Don't pause. You can't pause for a half a second.
Yeah, stand up, everybody. Yeah, way to go. And baby, we learned a lot. We learned a lot. And DT, like the director of player personnel, is there. DT, this was good, DT. Yeah, this is great. And still got a little bit left. All right, here we go. How uncomfortable does that speaker feel?
It makes me uncomfortable watching them get clapped off, too.
Might as well leave.
Those are the moments, that I start going, no, this guy, he does. Standing ovation. He went from standing ovation, which is how he could have left there, But he still had 14 slides left on that deck. Instead, at the end, it's, all right.
They need to know that going in, man. This is a tough room. You have to know that.
Josh, so impressive.
Yeah, he crushed.
Yeah.
You put him anywhere, I assume Josh is going to crush. Honestly, that was... Shout out to NFL Films. That was a fucking good episode.
It
was.
Keep it that way.
We can't take that for granted.
Exactly.
MCDC looks even more jacked than in the first 2 episodes, I feel like.
I would have put gum in. Oh, here we go. He is a barbarian.
Yeah.
That guy is a caveman.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got those boys ready to go. As I was watching, I was thinking, I wouldn't mind playing for this guy. Like, it would be enjoyable every day. And I'd assume I would say stuff back, to kind of try to, because I'm a big, let's get them going.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a big, let's get them going guy. Whoever it is, whatever it is, however it is, I want you to go. I don't know what you're talking about, but I want you to feel comfortable enough around me to just go all in so I can really learn it. And I feel like MCDC would certainly be a guy where I'm like, that was a good speech back there.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I think you could have dug a little deeper, though, don't you think? Man, I was going to.
And then every time he saw you from there on out, he'd be, oh, look, Mr. Funny Man. Well, if it isn't the comedian, how you doing, man?
No, that's you, Coach. That's you, Coach. That's what I would say back. And I'm like, let me tell you about that dust in the pants thing. Everybody thought it was a little cocaine, but it fucking good energy juice.
Worked.
I like that guy a lot, man.
What did Connor say next week? What is he going to bring poop up there and eats it?
Should
be cool.
You're ridiculous.
We're done eating shit, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Make the other teams do.
Hey, I got some good news as I get the hell out of here. The Colts have signed a punter.
Really?
Okay.
Show must go on. All right.
Who'd they sign?
Matt Hack. Great punter out of Miami, and then he was with Buffalo. I believe he's from Iowa originally.
So he's a fucking dog.
Gritty.
Used to be a wide receiver.
Athlete.
Oh, yeah. Let's run some fakes.
Great athlete. I got a chance to kick some balls with him a couple years ago. I didn't know who he was. He was coming out of college. he fucking demolishes footballs. Now, I think the last couple stops, he hasn't been as consistent as, everybody would hope in the NFL, but with the Colts, this could be his best stop. He's going to have his best team. He might be fucking great.
Yeah, he went from Des Moines to Arizona State, Dolphins and then the Bills.
Let's go.
He murders footballs, though. I saw him hit some balls. I'm like, ooh.
Good get.
I think so. Just got to hit him all the time. Matt will do that. This is the right place for him. That's good news for all of us, by the way. And me, I can take that off the plate. I can take that off the plate.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I ain't beating Matt Hack.
Well, I don't know, though.
Only one way to find out.
No, I'm not competing with anybody. That would have been a job that would have had to been, hey, we need you. Here's the job. Because there's going to be some. I'm going to be working on things probably up until game day. Yeah, until kickoff. I'm going to be working on some shit here. So we got to find it. I don't know if you're going to want to judge me these first couple of days against Matt. And with that being said, I love Matt Hack.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking happy he's here and getting another opportunity. He's very, very good.
I mean, the tape doesn't lie.
What?
The tape you put out there is from training camp.
All right, listen.
It's
a jugs machine. I did bomb a couple.
I wouldn't write it off.
I watched him last night. I'm like, that's a jugs ball, and I'm barefoot basically. I started getting the stopwatch out because Darius was trying to fuck me.
Yeah, he was.
Darius was doing the stopwatch on his phone. It's like 4-3. I'm like, Darius.
That's not accurate. Ever.
Darius, you need to shut the fuck up over it. He's like, no, they're saying I got a good thumb. He was, I forget who he compared himself to. But yeah, he was giving me hang times, and it was like almost Casserly. He said, I got Charlie Casserly thumb. That's what Darius was saying. It was awesome. But
what's a good hang? What do you want?
It depends how far you hit it. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, let's say you hit a 55-yard.
So you always want the yardage to match the number. So that would be a 5.5.
Okay.
That would be like perfect ball. So if you hit a 47-yarder, you want a 4.7 ball. If you hit a 4.2, that better be 42. If it's 49, obviously you see there's 7/10 and 7. You know what I mean? Yards difference there. So that's what you're aiming for.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so these guys, but if you can hit a ball 82 yards, you fucking hit a ball 82 yards there too. So that thing could be 4.2. Matt Ariza hitting that fucking 82-yard ball. That's probably a 4.4, 4.5, 82 yards. We'll take it. Then just kickoff coverage basically.
Yeah. Gillikin.
It's a whole different ball game. Yeah, Gillikin with an 81-yarder. You take that every time if you can do that. Go ahead and hit that ball 81 yards if you can. Unless, obviously it's short.
Do they ever kick a ball in college with hang time?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't watch enough. The Aussies do not. No offense to the Aussies. The Aussies are trying to get a ball from point A to point B their entire life because punting is a pass and a shot. So it's not like, hey, need it to hang before it gets to the target. So that's the big change for the Aussies. A lot of guys have gotten comfortable with doing it and have been able to transition easily. A lot of college guys can't hit balls with hang because everybody can leave the line of scrimmage before the ball is kicked. So they're just trying to roll it down the field, basically. That's the big difference. That's the big difference. But I think there's some guys from college that used to hit big hangs. JK used to hit a hang ball, an NFL ball in college. And then it didn't work out with the Packers. He's with the Chargers now?
Yes. Doesn't seem to be working out that well with them either, if the last game was any indication. Good luck, though. Best of luck, JK.
You're so rude.
What do you mean?
He almost made the tackle.
He did. You saw him hucking.
He still didn't shoot.
Yeah.
He dives there and breaks his finger.
Yeah. True. Finger. I mean, that's best case. It's his finger. What if he dislocates his shoulder?
The only reason I'm saying that is because I fucking broke, I think, like my pinky here on diving to tackle somebody, and I couldn't say anything. I couldn't say anything for like the next 5 weeks. Like, I think I had a broken thing here. What am I going to do? Oh, I broke my pinky on a tackle? Like, all right, I'm not going to say that. Nobody will take me seriously ever again. But for the rest of the game, that ball was hitting me. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
I think I got to. So, yeah.
Buddy tape it.
Right here. Could you imagine I show up to a game fucking, what's up? What's going on, boys? How we doing here? All right, I'm out of here. Hey, great show, AJ.
Great show, Pat.
Wasn't my best work. I called Mary Kay the wrong name a couple times. At the beginning and at the end. Next week we'll get better. Hopefully she joins us. Big thanks to Pete Sweeney, Tommy Curran, Kelsey Conway, Coach Chuck Pagano, who'll be with us all year.
Hell yeah.
Shaquem Griffin, congrats on the retirement. And sorry to Mark Caboli.
Yeah,
Sorry,
next
Mark.
time.
Mark Caboli is supposed to be on Field of Beat, but obviously we ran out of time. So I have to get him next time. He is a staple of Field of Beat. We did not forget about him, but
So does he stay in a dorm room out there at camp?
Yes. Yeah.
Congrats to all the PMS winner
Does he really?
Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, yeah.
thank you guys for a great show today.
Be awesome.
Thank you for watching and listening. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. You're the best. See ya.